Just add an offer and save instantly when you...
Diddy Combs' list of accusers now includes an Oklahoma woman. In a brand new lawsuit, she claims she was lured to one of his parties in 2006.
There she says Diddy drugged and sexually assaulted her. News 4's Tanner DeLeon takes a closer look at the accusations.
It's difficult, but scary at the same time. But I do know that I do want my story to be told.
LaToya Grayson, along with her attorney, talking with News Nation after filing a lawsuit against rapper Sean Diddy Combs, alleging she was drugged and sexually assaulted.
Today, she was very brave, and through her, her doubts, wanted to come forward.
According to the lawsuit, Grayson says her half-sibling went a trip for two to attend one of Combs' parties in New York City in 2006. The lawsuit goes on to say during the party, Grayson, who was 23 at the time, started to feel sick and became unconscious after 2 drinks. She said she woke up in a hospital with a ripped shirt, missing underwear and shoes, and no recollection of how she got there.
Her next memory was being in a hospital. After getting it, finally returning back to the hotel, she had to leave shortly thereafter to go back to Oklahoma. And then the next day she received a call from an unidentified woman telling her that she shouldn't pursue anything against Diddy because it would be a waste of time.
Grayson said she was scared to report it and believe what the caller had told her. But now, with Combs in jail on federal charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking, Grayson says she feels more comfortable telling her story.
Anyone else that was impacted by it, I think they should also tell their story.
In a statement to NBC News, Combs' attorney called Grayson's allegations, quote, pure
Force and joins us now with more. Sydney, just awful allegations here.
They were right, Heather and Dylan. I do want to warn viewers that there's things in these court documents that are just so horrific that we can't report them.
Shakota and Cherry Fielder are facing child abuse allegations that, if true, are nothing short of torture. Court documents claim the children were forced by the father to roll outside in sticker patches, struck with bullwhips, and scarred by knife cuts. One child described being pistol whipped, and another told authorities he'd been shot with a BB gun, the pellet still found in his leg during an exam. Authorities say the mother witnessed the abuse but didn't step in. Joe Dorman with the Oklahoma Institute for Child Advocacy says we have failure to protect laws.
No one should get off the hook completely for allowing their children to be abused. It needs to be a fair system, but these people certainly need more resources for help, and we don't have enough of those in Oklahoma.
The parents were arrested this month, but court documents show DHS was alerted in June about a child's broken arm. At the time, the child reportedly covered for his parents on how he was injured.
You never know in a situation like this how the caseworker handled the situation, but if the kids are lying, oftentimes they have to go by that.
While limited in what they could say, DHS told us in part, we emphasize the critical importance of a child's or family member's courageous disclosure. Such actions empower our agency and court partners to respond swiftly and effectively. In June, DHS recommended the grandmother move into the home to help out, but court documents reveal she later fled with the 4 children, ultimately leading to a police investigation. One of the children, a 13-year-old boy, told investigators he suffered a broken arm after his father, quote, put his arm behind his back and punched it.
Just so many kids are in horrific situations all throughout the state, all around the nation. We need individuals who will just keep watch over, and if they suspect something, report it.
In Oklahoma, it is the law to report suspected child abuse. Tonight, the couple sits in the Cleveland County Jail. The mother facing 4 counts of enabling child abuse, the father facing 4 counts of abuse, 5 counts of sexual abuse.
Odyssey in the moment, police arrested a trio of men suspected in a violent ATM robbery. Investigators saying the suspects are from Texas.
And new court papers also reveal the men went to Kansas following the holdup here before later returning to the metro. News 4's Mecca Thompson tells us how a mistake made by one of those suspects while behind the wheel led to their arrests.
Trio of men from Houston, Texas, currently in the Oklahoma County Jail after a crime they allegedly committed here, leaving a worker with a knot on his head and hospitalized.
Newly released body cam showing 3 suspects moments before they were led away in handcuffs following an alleged robbery that same morning in War Acres.
They appear to purposely break the ATM. Then they wait for the service person to show up.
Court records say in early December, Tyrone Jones, Cortez Martin, and John Perry going to a well-known bank branch at the corner of Northwest 35th and MacArthur in War Acres to rob an ATM. Police say the victim, an ATM technician, went to fix the machine after the suspects broke it.
He did not give him over any money, and they then beat him and took off on foot.
An affidavit details the suspects telling the victim to give them the money or they were going to shoot him. When police got to the scene, an officer described seeing fresh wounds on the left side of the victim's lip, right side of his cheek, and a large knot on the left side of his forehead.
The Oklahoma City Police and our detectives using flock cameras was able to locate a rental vehicle out of Houston, Texas.
Oklahoma City Police catching the trio in an evening traffic stop the same day of the robbery.
I can imagine when they saw the police cars behind them, they knew what had happened.
Officers say the getaway car was spotted across state lines in Wichita, Kansas, before making it back down I-35 into Oklahoma City limits the same day.
That boy had his seatbelt on.
$100,000 bond.
Say these niggas from the hood right here.
The assistant chief says the men are facing charges of robbery and
conspiracy. They out there in Oklahoma, goddammit,
The
fucking with
victim is
them
expected to be
ATM
okay,
machines.
was treated for his injuries at the hospital. Officers tell News 4 the suspects are possibly tied to more robberies that happened in War Acres earlier this month.
Yeah, that's crazy. Them boys right there from the hood. They getting it in.
35.7 seconds left in the game.
Now let's see what the...
Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, and Tyler Hero all involved. Madness on the floor here in Houston.
Thompson went after Tyler Hero.
He having to be restrained. Hero looks hurt. No, Hero's okay. Amen Thompson down at the other end. What a bizarre scene. We'll have to unravel it
So
with the
they
replay.
tripping at the
And he
Rockies
did
game.
it. You and we will see it together in seconds. Wow, watch how it erupts. The bump between Hero and Amen Thompson. And then watch what Thompson does. Whoa!
Look.
Amen Thompson's going to get tossed out of this game.
Absolutely.
And
That shit funny.
When you do things because you love them,
They out
people
there
feel
fighting like a
lot of
motherfucker
people
at the
think-
goddamn Rockets game, man. Subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't subscribed to the channel yet, man. Double tap the screen to
You
hit
had
the like
touched on
button.
this earlier in our interview, but in 2012, Rich Global LLC ended up filing for bankruptcy, and you guys were already paid $24 million to the Learning Annex. Can you talk about what happened there?
I'd really rather not. Okay, I
Fair
mean,
enough.
what we're talking about, it was just a political move. Bankruptcy is a way of getting out of a bad situation. But everybody thinks of it as terrible. It's just a strategic move. So if you want to know about it, call my fucking attorneys. Okay?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, based on research I did, at one point you owned 6,500 pieces of property? Or is it more than that?
More than that.
Can you say how many you actually own?
It's about 12,000. 12, look, when I was 10 years old, my rich dad played Monopoly with me. And we all know the formula, 4 greenhouses, 1031 tax deferred exchange. So today I own about 12,000 rental units, but that's not the story. The real story is, how did I acquire those property? I used debt. And that's what they don't teach you in school. You see, the more debt I use, the more property I own, the less tax I pay. And if you think paying taxes is illegal, tax is a Marxist idea. Please, I hate this. And people say, well, you should pay taxes. No, we shouldn't. What Marx says is that a progressive and oppressive income tax is essential for the spread of Marxism, communism. That was in 1848. America was founded, let's look at the facts. This is what pisses me off about academic types. The facts are America was founded as a tax-free nation. It was called the Boston Tea Party. I think it was 1773. And we were tax-free for all of these years until 1913 when the Fed was created.
76, bro. You got that
In
wrong.
1913, the Fed was created. The same year, guess what else was created? The IRS, Amendment 16. And ever since then, we're paying taxes. So guys like me pay no taxes legally.
Subscribe to the channel if you ain't subscribed to the channel yet.
More money you
Double
make,
tap the screen and hit the like button.
If that's not...
Let's see what old Draco gotta say.
Better way to throw a party.
Let's see what old Draco gotta say, man.
Party idea.
Draco in the house. What's good, man?
Yeah, what's up with y'all?
The holidays are here. People are buying expensive gifts for their family.
Yeah.
DDG buy his 1-year-old a Ferrari, like a real Ferrari.
Okay.
Is this a terrible way to spend money? Like, or is there some strategy to this? What do you think? Like, how do you think about that?
I mean, when it comes to kids, it's your kids. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell nobody, know how to treat their kids or what to spend on their kids, but. My son ain't get no damn Ferrari at 1 year old.
A real Ferrari.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like a house is something cool, like buy him a house. He has something to grow up to, but a car, you can't drive that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, but some of these cars, like you probably had cars that like really do appreciate in value.
Yeah.
So it could be an investment strategy. Yeah.
That's gonna depreciate in 16 years. But shout out, when you got kids and it's your first time having kids, you just want to spoil them and show them the world. So I get it though, you know what I'm saying?
What are some like sensible gifts that Soldier has purchased for the kids?
You gotta get them like the mini Ferrari that they can really ride in. You know what I'm saying? Like the toy Ferrari or the toy Cybertruck. You gotta give them the little baby toy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta start them off. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, can you think back to when you were a kid, man, and when times were simple, man? You weren't iced up. You came up. You didn't come up with a silver spoon.
Nah, that's
what was some of the gifts you remember getting? Like, damn, and I was so appreciative for it. Like, I can't believe to think about that. Like,
I mean, we came up real hard though, but like, my daddy, he tried his best. So like, anytime I got like the PlayStation, the Nintendo GameCube, he always kept me with the latest video games. So as long as I had
video, those weren't cheap. He was hustling to make that happen. Yeah.
Camera vandals smashing the windows of a Memphis business, at least one of them also seen with a gun. Tonight, those owners are fed up, saying they're now questioning their future in the airport area. WREG's Alan Self is live tonight off Lamar Avenue. And Alan, we can see that plywood behind you there, some activity in the business. What are those owners telling you tonight?
We spoke with Tabitha and Lord Cole, the owners of Hill Boys Wing and Burger Bar. They say they're still trying to process the destruction left behind and have spent the entire day cleaning up the mess. They're preparing to border up the business right now as we speak. The vandalism occurred just an hour after they closed up at 10 o'clock last night. Surveillance video shows multiple individuals appearing to be young, throwing bricks and smashing windows. They say what's even more disturbing is that one of the individuals was recording the incident the entire time, and another was seen with a gun. The Coles say nothing was stolen, and with a spotless online reputation and no outside conflicts, they're left wondering why someone would target their business, and are urging anyone with information to come forward.
We're essentially good people, so if you look at our Google reviews, we won't get anything but good reviews, mainly on the customer service. So we don't have any issues or quarrels with anybody that comes in here day to day. So I can't think of a reason why anybody would do anything like that.
I mean, this won't benefit anybody
at all.
You know, we have employees that work here that will be missing time, you know, from being at work. We got bills to pay like everybody else, you know, so we need an income to keep rolling.
The store is currently closed until further notice. Lord Cole has even considered shutting down completely and moving out of the area for good. For your news leader in South Memphis, I'm Alan Self, WREG News Channel 3.
Man, they out there in Memphis tripping. Hey, check this out right here, man. This
My mantra
crazy
is
shit.
that every next level demands a different you, and Pretty Global is giving me an opportunity to
This
prepare
is
myself for
crazy
that.
shit right here.
¿Dar otro corta?
Ahora que escribí, ¿cómo ha sido? Menores.
They got people in mattresses.
Mijo, para el motor.
Say, man, look at this shit. Man, they cutting people out of mattresses, man. They doing everything to sneak up in this
Two
motherfucker.
unrelated family disputes ending with a parent dead and a child in custody.
Damn.
Tonight, a 12-year-old girl is accused of killing her father in North Las Vegas, and a 15-year-old boy is accused of killing his father in the Northwest Valley.
Damn.
We brought you that homicide investigation as breaking news last night. We were live from the neighborhood near Smoke Ranch in
Two
Rainbow.
people killed their
87
fathers,
reporter Master
man.
Kimbrough there
Subscribe
again
to
for
the
us tonight.
channel,
Madison,
y'all.
what can you
Double
tell
tap
us?
the screen and hit the like button. Turn us up on the likes and turn us up on the
You
subscribers.
can take a look behind me where you can see the home in the distance there. You can see where that American flag is. It's happening just after 8:30 Saturday evening. Metro Police responded to a call from a woman claiming that her brother had shot their father inside of their home. Police arrived and found the father dead. Police confirming that the teenage son was upset with his parents after they had taken away his electronics, and that's when things escalated.
The son then went downstairs, retrieved a firearm, pointed at the father, and shot several times.
The young boy took off, but police were able to find him shortly after in the neighborhood. He was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon, open murder, and booked into the Clark County Juvenile Hall. No details were given out about the other family members, including the sister who made the 911 call. Now, this area here on Tampa Court was blocked off for some time, but it has since reopened. We've talked with several neighbors here in this area just about the family, whether they knew them or not. We'll be bringing you the latest coverage on that coming up at 11 p.m. Sending it back to you.
Well, first at 5:30, the death of a teen in Adams County has shaken the community to its core. Storms swept through Mississippi overnight, causing tremendous amounts of damage and tragedy. And 12 News' Teal McKenzie has reactions from friends and family as they try to move forward.
Hundreds of power outages and fallen trees are what's left behind from overnight storms that ripped through Magnolia State Saturday. Tears fill the eyes of those who knew 18-year-old Takiria Rogers, a senior at Natchez High School who was set to graduate in May.
She was a cheer captain, and this was her senior year, yeah, this affected a lot of us.
Rogers was described as an outgoing, kind spirit. Her life was taken after a tree fell on her home on the 1500 block of Westwood in Natchez.
So all of our emergency law enforcement, fire, police, EMS, and of course emergency management responded to the call. They had 2 residents in a home as well that were injured, and they were able to get out safely.
Crews are working to restore power to nearly 5,000 people impacted.
Family, friends, and neighbors have banded together to begin cleanup efforts and make sense of this tragic incident.
Adams County Emergency Management says they are providing counseling services for their officers also.
She was a loving person. You couldn't help but to love her. Seriously. She was the best at everything, best at dancing, anything. I would put her up against anybody to do her little TikToks.
Jasmine Buchanan asks for prayers and donations to help this family heal and push forward.
For anything, any donations, anything, because she lost everything.
And you know the main thing is she goes for a child, and it's something you don't want to lose. You know, you can get another house, another car, all that, but it's just the main thing. We just don't know right now.
A GoFundMe page has been set up for Rogers and her family. Reporting in Natchez, Tia McKenzie, 12 News.
Here is 7 rooms. We don't sell coffee.
The police are investigating an apparent aside. According to investigators, the incident occurred in the 300 block of Tulin Street just after 7 Saturday morning. Chief Joseph French says family members were at the home conducting a welfare check on their daughter when they noticed obvious signs of foul play. French says the bodies are that of 40-year-old Brandon Shayfield and 30-year-old Jennifer Shayfield. MBI assisted with the crime scene, and this is an ongoing investigation.
Twin brothers face felony charges after a shooting death in Laurel. Police there say Keeman and Kavan McLeod are behind the shooting near the intersection of Farrell Road and Rose Avenue in Laurel. The Laurel Leader Call reports the victim is Jamie Jones. He was a former basketball player at Northeast Jones High School. Keeman McLeod was arrested on an aggravated assault charge. Kevin McLeod is charged with 1 count of accessory before the fact.
Possession of controlled substances and possession of a dangerous weapon by a restricted person.
Rapper NBA Youngboy is out of the Cache County Jail on a $100,000 bond. The 24-year-old, whose real name is Kentrell Galden, is facing dozens of charges accusing him of being involved in a large-scale prescription drug fraud ring. Now, he'd been held in jail for almost a month since his arrest. Youngboy agreed to waive a preliminary hearing to get a chance to make bail. His arraignment is set for July 1st, where they're expecting him to enter a plea deal.
The drama surrounding Baton Rouge native rapper NBA Youngboy continues. The rapper was arrested around 4:30 Tuesday morning on multiple.
19-year-old is facing murder charges in connection to a deadly shooting that started in the Ferguson Schnucks parking lot. The victim was also 19 years old. Right now, police are still looking for more suspects. 5 on Your Side's Annie Krall is learning new details in this case.
Around 12:15 p.m. Saturday, Ferguson police got a call for shots fired near the Schnucks on South Florissant Road.
Within a minute, our officers responded. Upon responding, the individuals involved with this gun battle had fled the scene.
Officers had to take cover as shots sailed their way. After the gunfire ended, officers found 19-year-old Ramon Caleb Henderson shot to death inside a car just a few blocks away.
One of our officers did capture an individual that fled from the scene, and we was able to locate a weapon from that individual.
We now know that suspect was 19-year-old Clarence Brown. He's now charged with second-degree murder and first-degree robbery. According to court documents, Brown admitted to police to setting up a robbery during a gun transaction.
Now there's another family added to the list of losing a child to gun violence. 19, I don't look at as a man, I look at it as still a baby.
Less than 24 hours later, local moms, no stranger to this type of violence, are seeking solutions to end the cycle.
Get to these schools. Get with these counselors. Find out who's hurting. That right there would cut down all this murder and this chaotic world that we're living in right now.
Even with the holidays, you would think that people would say it's the holidays. Let's be cheerful. But it's not a pause. It's all year round. And for New Year's, I hope that, the new year, I hope that people say, instead of shooting guns, light a candle for the ones that didn't make it in, to see 2025.
Annie Krall, 5 on Your Side.
Our newsroom has learned. We start tonight with breaking news. We're learning a man and a 3-year-old boy were hit by a car just steps away from the Missouri Botanical Garden. Good evening, I'm Sydney Starth. I'm in for Mike Bush tonight. Just minutes ago, we learned the man is in critical condition and the child is in the hospital for evaluation. Now, this all happened just before 8 o'clock tonight at the intersection of Shaw and Vandeventer. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski was out at the scene learning more about what happened.
St. Louis police say Sunday night, 2 people were hit as they were crossing Vandeventer at the Shaw intersection. It was a man and a little boy. Police say the driver of a silver sedan was going southbound on Vandeventer, coming through the Shaw intersection. When the driver told them he stopped to let some people cross at Shaw, then continued on, not seeing a man and a boy. Police believe the 65-year-old man and 3-year-old boy were attending Garden Glow when they were hit in the crosswalk. A witness to the accident tells me she thought the driver was speeding and saw the victims go flying. Their shoes ended up in the street. She told me while they waited for police, more pedestrians almost got hit. The silver car had significant front end damage and a cracked windshield. The police say the driver did stay behind. We'll continue to keep you updated as we learn more. Reporting in St. Louis, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
Our thanks to Laura. Stick with us. We'll bring you the very latest updates on this breaking story on air on KSDK.com and
Get hooked up with Cash App Card. Just add an offer and save instantly when you pay.
We are in Turkey.
This is our job.
A special report. St. Louis, the last stop. Live coverage of President Carter's visit to St. Louis.
August 24th, 1979, 5 on Your Side broadcasts a half-hour special as President Carter and his family end a 7-day trip on the Mississippi under the shadow of the Gateway Arch. A crowd of 40,000 people jammed the stairs of the monument, greeting the president, who was plugging his administration's energy program. Before a cheering crowd that included some demonstrators, President Carter pronounced the riverboat trip a success.
Amy's had a good time, Rosen's had a good time, and so have I. We hate to see the trip end, but if it has to end somewhere, it could not possibly end in a more beautiful place and a more exciting place than under this tremendous arch here at St. Louis.
With political turmoil slashing oil production in the Middle East, sparking an energy crisis, Carter also urged Americans to conserve at home and on the job.
So I ask all of you to help us conserve energy. And the second thing I'd like to ask you to do is to join in with me in helping to produce more energy in our own country.
First Lady Rosalind Carter then took the mic.
The people along the way, you two, have made it very special for us. It's a week that Jim and I both will never forget. Thank you all for coming out today. We love you.
And even first daughter Amy had something to say.
Hi.
President Carter made many trips to the St. Louis area. In August of 1978, he visited Columbia, Missouri, where he was the keynote speaker at the Mid-Continent
Subscribe to the
Farmers
channel if you haven't
Convention.
subscribed to the channel.
In November of 1979, he was back
Double
in St.
tap
Louis
the screen to
for
hit the
League
like
of Nations
button.
meeting. He made a campaign appearance in East St. Louis in November of 1980. He visited our city for a couple of book signings, this one in 2001, and another in 2009 when he did an interview with
Questions remain after dozens of migrants in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood say they were forced out into the cold just one day before Christmas Eve. Some say they weren't even allowed to retrieve their belongings.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel.
They were staying in.
Double tap the screen to hit the like button. The 3 white dots at the top, another way you can hit the like button. Turn us up on subscribers and the likes.
Personnel converging on a large South Shore apartment building accompanied by a large presence of Chicago police officers, spokespeople for the mayor's office telling us that the migrants are being moved due to safety concerns in the building, but members of the community telling us that the operation was both chaotic and heavy-handed.
I saw groups of children. There's ladies with newborns in their arms.
Neighbors distressed to see families in the cold at 74th and South Phillips the day before Christmas Eve.
They can't even get their coats out of their apartments.
Warming buses and the Salvation Army among various city agencies here to support what the mayor's
Don't
office
forget to
calls
hit the
an
like button, y'all.
evacuation
Turn us up on the likes.
in the large
Subscribe
South
to the
Shore
channel.
apartment building, but the migrants telling us that there wasn't adequate notice.
Por ejemplo, yo no tengo ni para dónde irme y tengo 2 hijos pequeños.
I have 2 small children, a migrant father tells us. One is 2 years old and the other 3, and I don't have anywhere to go. Others upset with what they say is a confusing situation and the abruptness with which city departments and police remove migrants from the building.
La mayoría hemos perdido documentos, ropa, zapatos.
The majority of us have lost our documents, our clothes, and our shoes, a mother of two tells us, anguished most especially by the inability to retrieve crucially important documents. We have paid a month for $1,200 and it's only been 10 days, this man tells us. Many confused about where they'll go and what happens to the rent money that they say they already paid at the large apartment building on the 7300 block of South Phillips. Spokespeople for the Salvation Army in a written statement say that there have been serious issues with residents in the building over the past month, and too many occupants moved into the building, causing deplorable conditions. Sources telling us that it was Chicago's building department making the call to evacuate.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all. What's going on? Good morning to everybody.
Others taken to the
subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Double tap the screen to hit the like button, y'all.
Because there's nothing.
Come on, y'all, wake up now. I need y'all to wake up.
This weekend,
drop a comment in the chat. Let me know you up in here.
Kevin Ward. The 26-year-old and soon-to-be dad was shot and killed on Christmas Eve. His father is currently in jail, accused of pulling the trigger. But as clouds hung over Cliff Cave Park in South St. Louis County, one of Ward's favorite places to be, according to his mother, loved ones lit candles in his memory. Ward's mom called him a jokester, always trying to make people laugh. And all he wanted the day he died was to spend time with his dad.
That's all Kevin ever wanted, was Harold to love him. That was it. And he was wanting to bond and spend that time with his dad that day. Then I'm going to every court date. I'm going to make sure the first person he sees in that courtroom is me. Because I am Kevin's voice now. I am his advocate. And I'm going to make sure justice is done.
Kevin is expecting a baby, which will come in June. A GoFundMe set up for his family has already raised more than $1,100. If you'd like to donate, you can find a link on our website, ksdk.com, under the As Seen on TV section. This morning, police are searching for two suspects
to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button, y'all. Turn us up on the likes.
Spread to a nearby intersection where a man was shot and...
I know y'all can hear me now. Turn us up on them likes. Double tap the screen to turn us up on the likes. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I need to see them likes going up now. Them likes ain't going up. The subscribers ain't going up. What y'all over here doing, man? Support the channel. Yeah, show your love trying to be the next YouTuber 2025, man. I want to be the #1 YouTuber, man. Only way I'm going to get there if y'all support. By tapping the like button. Double tap the screen, get the likes up. Put me in the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. Make those subscribers go up. Let them know. Let them know that the American is not hating. The Americans are not hating, and they want to see other people come up on this motherfucker. Y'all let them know. Show your love up next.
Ernie Crawl spoke with officers who first heard
subscribe to the channel, y'all. Double tap the screen.
It was around 12:15 p.m. Saturday when Ferguson police got a call about a shooting at the Schnucks Market in the 40th block of South Florissant.
Within a minute, our officers responded. Upon responding, the individuals involved with this gun battle had fled the scene.
As several people scattered, the chaos in broad daylight had only just begun. Less than half a mile away, officers heard more gunshots near South Clark Avenue and Carson Road. Then put out an
subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen to hit the like button, y'all.
Other individuals fled the scene.
Other agencies responded to the scene, including Berkeley and St. Louis County Police, along with the Missouri State Highway Patrol. They eventually found a disabled car at the Carson intersection with a man dead inside, apparently hit by gunfire. While police say multiple people ran away from the chaotic gun battle, they were able to take one person into custody.
One of our officers did capture an individual that fled from the scene, and we was able to locate a weapon from that individual.
St. Louis County Police saying shortly after the shooting, at least 2 other people arrived at area hospitals for treatment of gunshot injuries. Now, the shootout is being investigated as a homicide. Police say they are left to track down at least 2 suspects. if not more.
Like I say, it's an active, ongoing investigation, and we're still looking for people.
Annie Crawl, 5 on your side.
Police have not said how old the victim was, and no officers were hurt during the shootout. Anyone with information is asked to reach out to the St. Louis County Police Department. That number's on your screen now, 636-529-8210.
Wrap up 2024 with a cool
Subscribe to the channel, y'all. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, double tap the screen and hit the like button. The 3 white dots at the top is another way you can hit the like button.
Critical condition about 4 hours ago when we last got an update from police.
We need y'all to interact over here. Interact by double tapping the screen.
It's so crazy, keep come out the house.
Lyndon Childers watched the shooting from his front window. He says he saw a young guy run into Ivory Perry Park, and seconds later, a black SUV followed behind.
When he got by the basketball goal, he just bam, bam, bam.
Childers says somebody in the SUV fired around 3 to 4 shots at the teen and sped off.
They just did their thing and almost hit the tree.
He said they just did their thing?
And then they just left. By then, I was ran to my door saying, what's going on?
We did see police canvassing the area and searching through an SUV.
Hear that something like this happened in this park here during the holiday season is heartbreaking.
Alderwoman Shamim Clark Hubbard says Ivory Perry Park is no stranger to crime.
They've had their challenges with not only violence but drug sales in different areas of the park. That's why strategically things were done in this park. Again, whenever I would call on our police department, they would respond with extra patrols, our rangers with extra patrols.
The city and alderwomen have been working to make the park safer for the community.
This park has cameras that were funded through Ward Capital and Parks Capital that I was able to be instrumental in. So those type of things we put in place, and we have to stop this violence.
A $9,000 Rolex stolen from Keanu Reeves' LA home has turned up overseas.
Yeah, it appears the actor is the latest victim of a South American crime tourism ring targeting SoCal celebs. KCAL's Lori Perez joins us from Studio City with the Chilean connection to a break-in at Reeves' LA home, Lori.
That's right. We've heard a lot over the last year about a trend of criminals with passports coming here to commit crimes, and it appears they might have targeted the actor Keanu Reeves. CNN is reporting police in Chile have found some of his stolen property taken from LA last year.
I do expect Keanu Reeves to get his watches back, finally.
CNN says during a raid of 4 houses, police in Chile, working with U.S. officials, reportedly recovered 3 watches stolen from actor Keanu Reeves' LA home last December, including a $9,000 Rolex engraved with his name. It's the latest development in a continuing crackdown on alleged crime tourism rings targeting Southern California. In August, a multi-agency task force in LA announced the arrest of 6 locals running a Van Nuys rental car company and allegedly bringing in foreign nationals from South. Said from 2018 to 2024, the group organized about 120 burglaries in 80 cities across the country, with losses to individuals and businesses totaling more than $35 million. Nima Rahmani is a former federal prosecutor.
Come on,
crime tourism certainly isn't new, but we're seeing a lot more.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen and hit the like button, y'all.
But a lot of it has to do with social media as well. People are posting when they're on vacation. Well, that makes their home a target. People are posting their bags and their jewelry.
Prosecutors say what these crime rings have been doing
Appreciate y'all for subscribing to the channel.
Especially from Chile.
Can we get y'all to hit the like button?
Country that allows travelers
I see y'all
to get
subscribing. Can we get y'all to hit that like button, man?
Vetting and having them break into the homes of pro athletes and celebrities. Both the NBA and the NFL reportedly issued warnings this year to players about the threat. Rahmani says he is struck by the level of cooperation from the Chilean government.
I do think that the publicity that these Chilean gangs have received in the media coverage here in Southern California has certainly helped the United States put pressure on their counterparts in Chile to help stop this wave of theft that has affected all of Southern California. So it's certainly a black eye for the government of Chile to have this reputation.
Even with the cooperation, Ramani says international prosecutions are challenging. Chilean police reportedly arrested a 21-year-old man after the raids. In Studio City, I'm Lori Perez. KCAL News, back to you.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. I see y'all running them subscribers up, man. Appreciate y'all running them
Now
subscribers
it takes a search
up.
for suspects accused of posing as police, then assaulting and robbing their victims. Welcome to KCAL News at 6 on CBS Los Angeles. I'm Gio Intrinares.
And I'm Leslie Muddy, and we're also streaming on CBS News Los Angeles. Well, robbers dress up like police officers and break into a high-rise apartment in Koreatown overnight.
The LAPD says the suspects assaulted a resident and got away with thousands of dollars in cash and jewelry. KCAL News reporter Lauren Posen live in Koreatown with the break-in and the brutal assault. Lauren.
Well, Gio, tonight police are looking for 4 suspects. This all happened right across the street at this high-rise apartment building. And in talking to people who live here, they say what scares them the most tonight is that these robbers were dressed as officers. Flashing lights and dozens of patrol cars were parked outside Nari Koreatown apartments as police inside investigated.
I just came home from the gym and found out there's a robbery in the building.
The crime happened just before 3 Saturday morning. Detectives say 4 suspects broke into one of the units while a resident was home. They say 3 of the suspects wore ski masks and police-style uniforms.
That's scary. That's scary. Like, I don't know if I approached them or if they came up to me and approached me, like, I don't know what I would do.
Detectives say the suspects were armed with a semi-automatic handgun and assaulted the resident before taking off with a large amount of cash and jewelry. Residents say they're alarmed someone would go so far as to impersonate an officer.
So you automatically assume that, they're, the law authority figure, so you just, like, kind of do whatever they tell.
Between last-minute shopping and holiday travel, Customs and Border Patrol is expecting tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people crossing the border between now and New Year's. It's not just harmless gifts making their way through the ports of entry either. As you know, we're talking drugs, large amounts of drugs, fentanyl, that might be hidden in otherwise innocuous packages. News Nation's Allie Bradley joins me right now. So is it packages like gifts, or is it more some other way that they're disguising these drug deliveries?
Well, Adrian, would you be surprised that the cartel is taking advantage of the busy holiday season? Probably not. So that's exactly what they're doing. They're capitalizing off of the exceptionally busy ports of entry here. So while those shipments are coming through, they are trying to move things while the agents are busy with those bigger shipments. So what we saw here in Brownsville in the Rio Grande Valley, check this out, in a single enforcement action, CBP officers actually found 245 pounds of cocaine. Now, this was being hidden throughout a utility trailer that was being driven by a 50-year-old man from Mexico who was trying to bring that across into the United States illegally. And this is something that we're seeing happen again and again. Former Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent Victor Avila telling us, yes, the cartel is absolutely capitalizing off of the busy holiday season, but they're also testing any way possible to get their product and their people across illegally ahead of the next Trump administration. Take a listen there.
Especially knowing that the border is going to go back to full enforcement.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel, y'all.
Initial change, like a flip of a switch.
Let's run these subscribers up. It's 150 people in here. Can I get all y'all to subscribe to the channel?
Are made by both law enforcement and the cartel as that transition period, if you will, because the cartels are also doing their transition, just like the Trump team is doing their transition. They're transitioning right now, and they're getting ready to make sure that their product, their human beings, their illicit activities also make it through.
Come on.
Now, Avila also saying that it's going to take Mexico and a coordinated effort there for them to also step up and help with enforcement for those drugs
and those illegal immigrants even get to our southern border. Now, Border Patrol Chief Jason Owens just actually mentioning today that since October, just the last few months, the agency has actually seized over 14,000 pounds of cocaine, totaling more than $356 million. Adrian, the chief, saying this is a massive blow and destructive blow to these transnational criminal organizations when it comes to their finances. Adrian.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge enterprise. And in addition to the smuggling drugs and packages, what are we looking at when it comes to people being smuggled right now?
Yeah, so they're taking advantage of the busy ports and things like that, and they're actually cramming them back in semis again. We're seeing this ramp up once again, where we're seeing tons of people in the back of semi-trucks. So this recent one here, this one where we saw in El Paso, Border Patrol agents discovering 37 individuals locked in the back of a semi-truck. There, in these instances, as I mentioned, they're usually locked in the back of that truck. They have no means of escape. And then in Laredo, just about a week ago, there was over 100 people crammed in the back of a semi there. It is extremely important to note here that while these individuals are kind of getting back there willingly, they know that they're getting in the back of a semi, they're usually doing it at the directions of a smuggler working for the criminal cartel. So in that sector alone, over just the last 2 months, Adrian, agents have disrupted at least 4 major human smuggling events. That's just
subscribe to the channel, y'all. Let's get 100 people to subscribe to the channel.
Thank you so much.
100 people hit the like button.
Thanks for watching.
Turn us
Go to
up.
joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get
Round up spare change into saving stocks of Bitcoin. Can you use your Cash App?
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button.
Texas court rules the Biden administration must immediately stop selling parts of the landmark border wall from the first Trump administration. A major win for the president-elect's border security agenda, allowing him to use those materials in his second administration. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton celebrated this ruling, saying, quote, "We will hold his administration accountable," that is the Biden administration, "for illegally subverting our nation's border security until the very last day in power," end quote. Joining me right now, Republican strategist Bobby Eberle and Democratic strategist Dante Mills. Dante, I'm going to start with you. The president-elect had called the Biden administration selling and auctioning off portions of the wall illegal as well, and says that it has cost taxpayers millions of dollars. They've been doing this since 2023. A very odd decision to make after an executive order finally realizing that the immigration crisis had reached a chaos that no one could personally handle, including the Border Patrol officers. How does the decision to actually sell off parts of the wall impact Biden's legacy and the perception of Democrats?
It doesn't at all. We know that immigration is an important policy, but the plan under current President Joe Biden was not to use those pieces of material. That has nothing to do with the larger scale policy. He was actually trying to be efficient for the American people and save them money. So what he did is there was rusting steel. There was steel that wasn't going to be used. It was rusting out. So he allowed that steel to be sold to outside companies in order for it not to go to waste. It has nothing to do with the larger big picture of immigration. I think there's a national belief that we have to tighten the border and take steps we need to make our country safer. But this was just trying to save taxpayers their money.
I have to have Bobby's take on this, because I think that that's a very reasonable answer. And a lot of people at home are saying, yeah, that makes total sense. It's rusting walls. We need to get rid of things that don't make sense, that don't work. But had those portions of the wall been used, we might not be where we are today. So, Bobby, what's your take on this?
Well, right. There was a hostility from day one from the Biden administration and an overt plan to open the border. I mean, we heard over and over again that this was just seasonal. There's no border crisis, on and on and on. They stopped producing and building the wall. And this is just kind of the Biden administration's attempt to, stick a thumb in the eye of the Trump administration, just like they were doing with some of these pardons, just like they were doing with last-minute debt relief on loans, but they stopped that. A lot of maneuvers at the end that I think, to answer your question, will tarnish his legacy. This is just another maneuver because the American people understood that the Biden administration was not serious about illegal immigrations. That's why it was one of the top issues going into the election.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. It's 188 people up in here. Let me get 100 of y'all to subscribe to the channel.
Comes into power before he really
subscribe
gets
to
serious
the channel, y'all.
security.
And no matter what party it is, I just beg people to go online, Google Biden must use funds earmarked for the construction of the border wall from October of 2023. And he doesn't believe the barriers work, which would explain why the administration would auction off the wall. But he also says he has to use the funding to help build the wall because that's what the money was decided to be used for back in 2019. But somehow that all gets lost in the political discussions of all this. I digress. We know several Democratic leaders, they've been saying they will defy the deportation measures by President Trump. The LA Times reporting now, Stephen Miller, the incoming president's senior advisor, he now is messaging the...
You get started?
Hey, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen by hitting the like button. The 3 right dots at the top is another way you can hit the like button. Thank you for everybody subscribing to the channel. Thanks for everybody hitting the like button.
And found dozens of law enforcement leaders buying and illegally selling guns. A review of government audits and court records over the last 20 years uncovered instances in 23 states across the U.S. plus Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. for a total of more than 50 cases. And people who were supposed to protect and serve were selling these high-powered guns and making a steep profit. Erin Couchy, who led this reporting, is here with me in Studio 57. She's a producer for CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit. Erin, this is so mind-boggling that these high-ranking officers are getting these guns and then they're selling them to criminals. In essence, the law enforcement officers are criminals themselves.
Right. So the key is that these weapons are usually deemed too dangerous to be on the street. So they're using their access as law enforcement officials to gain access to things that otherwise wouldn't be on the market. They're saying we need this for our official duties to serve and protect, but actually they're secretly turning around and they're selling.
They're buying them because they're law enforcement officials, or they're requesting them? Tell me more.
It runs the gamut. So there were 50 cases all across the country, and there were different ways they got it. Sometimes they stole it out of the inventory. Sometimes they were their issued weapons by the department. In the most egregious cases, there were battlefield weapons, and that requires them to go to federal regulators, ask for special permission to gain access to them. And just to give you a sense of what kind of weapons these could take out an armored tank. They could go through a building at the other side, hit a target 18 football fields away. They can take out a military helicopter. That's an example from a real case. We found an Iowa police chief in a 3-person police department. Town was the population of less than 800, and he had requested over the course of 4 years 90 machine guns to get access to. He'd gotten approval. It took until he requested a Gatling-style machine gun that spewed 6,000 rounds a minute for federal regulators to say there's something fishy going on and starting to look into it. He's now serving a 5-year prison sentence, but he's totally unremorseful about it. He just says it's a business. It's not illegal to sell things in this country, and he's appealing his sentence because he just doesn't think it's a crime.
Oh, this is a lot to take in, Erin. And when I'm looking through all of this material, I'm seeing here that your team also uncovered social media posts where the buyers are talking about how they got the officers
subscribe
to sell
to the
weapons.
channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet.
Guns, you do have to
double tap the screen to hit the like button, y'all.
Ban in the United States since 1986, no one can have access to them. The one exception is official government use. So they go to federal regulators, but all you need is a letter. It's functionally a permission slip. A police chief signs a letter saying, I need this for department use. So there's literally do-it-yourself videos on social media explaining there's online web forums, and it just comes down to relationships. There's some guys who said, I know a police chief, I know a sheriff, I know a SWAT guy. They just take turns signing these letters for me, and they make it like it's all for fun. Some of these guys just think it's fun to literally mount it on an armored tank and just shoot it off into a field. And a lot of the guys is totally innocent, and that's what they do. But the problem is there are cases where they've ended up in the hands of criminals. So they've ended up with drug traffickers, they've ended up with arms dealers. There was a case where a police chief, a mayor, and a town it was a member of the town council were trafficking guns and tactical gear to a Mexican cartel. There was a case just last year where they all ended up pleading guilty. It was 2 police chiefs, a sheriff, a Delta Force veteran, all conspiring together with a sanctioned Russian arms dealer, and they ended up in the hands of an international gun trafficker. Again, all of that ended up pleading guilty, so we know for sure that they were doing that. And then there was a case in the Northeast where it ended up being used in a fatal gang shooting of a 14-year-old boy who was just standing at a high school football game and accidentally got shot. So most of the cases don't end up in those egregious situations, but they certainly have and do, and these are law enforcement officials.
And arguably that's the whole reason why they're supposed to have these permission slips, because once they get out into the public, then they're uncontrolled, and then you don't know where they're going to go next. But I'm also seeing here that there's some former ATF agents that you spoke with that said that
subscribe to the channel, y'all, if y'all haven't subscribed to the channel.
To charge these officers who sold the weapon.
Subscribe to the channel if y'all ain't subscribed to the channel. These are police officers selling firearms, illegal. Yeah, they selling firearms. They buying firearms, stealing firearms, and they reselling them. They got one police officer right now locked up for 5 years for it, and they said it seemed like he's not mad about it, like it's a business. So that's what we watching right now. Subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't subscribed to the channel yet. It's 100 people up in here. I need y'all to get them likes up. If y'all see them likes, man, we only got like 4 likes. We got like 4 likes. Double tap the screen so y'all can hit the like button. The 3 white dots at the top is another way you can hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn me up, man.
What's going on with that?
So we spoke to about 6 agents who were the lead investigators on some of these cases, and the officers themselves were the ones that, or sorry, rather the federal agents were the ones who were actually really frustrated with this. They wanted to bring these cases, but they each had an anecdote about how they had to go to the department they had caught doing this, who had been doing it repeatedly, almost like as a course of business, that they were getting these guns just for the express purpose of selling them, even though they were supposed to be their department weapons. And they just had to say, I'm letting you off with a warning. Prosecutors were generally reluctant to try these cases, according to them.
So it's the prosecutors, not the ATF.
It's a little bit of both. The prosecutors don't really want to do it because the Senate.
Appreciate y'all double tapping the screen to hit the like button. For the people that just came in order to hit the like button, you have a double tap the screen, or it's 3 white dots at the top. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Turn me up, y'all. It's 145 people in here. I need y'all to get them likes up for me. Double tap the screen to get them likes up.
Are very light. Most of these cases, people make plea deals. They serve less than a year, just a few months in jail. But we got an ATF memo from a few years ago that described this as a growing trend. That was in 2017, and most of the cases we found actually have happened since then. So it seems to be, it's hard to tell if it's happening more often or they're actually just going after it a little bit more now. But the memo said, it's our job to educate, not investigate. And I actually tracked down the senior agent who had written that memo, and he said, we generally take the posture, we don't question our law enforcement.
We got Edward in here. Edward,
we're just going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and it's really only in the very, very egregious cases that we actually pursue.
I hope you ain't one of them fun boys. Ain't no fun boys over here,
Edward. That's when you start to see charges. So the more than 50 cases, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more out there.
Come over here with that freaky shit,
all these agents are saying, oh yeah, I said, how do I look that up in the court docket? You're not going to see anything.
Fascinating.
All right, what I'm pulling up right now, they say they got lions in Detroit on the loose. And this was posted a couple of hours ago. So they say it's lions in Detroit on the loose. So we're going to see what's up. We want to see this
Detroit
shit.
Comedian made a joke about lions roaming the city of Detroit. And to his surprise, several social media users took him seriously. We talked with him about it tonight.
I just did it on a whim.
Detroit comedian Jay Cotton says he started a bit of an uproar on social media, but he didn't mean to.
I just put lions walking on Mac and Bewick video and comments. Went crazy. Almost at 500,000 views.
He says he thought it was pretty clear that the video was posted as a joke.
It was just me being funny, y'all. Like, I love the city of Detroit. This is my city. I love y'all.
But within days, social media users across platforms started reacting to it in an unusual way.
Not enough people are talking about what's going on in Detroit right now. Please someone explain to me how 13 lions are walking down the street in Detroit.
Are you shocked at how many people are actually thinking that there's lions just running around? Yes, very much so.
I would think like people that know the city know, like, come on, man, that's obviously not Mac and Bewick. But, you know, I think that's just where we at in the world today. You know what I'm saying? Like, just people just believe almost anything they see on the internet.
Now, this chef and comedian says he's sorry for anyone he may have scared, but he hopes this serves as a reminder not to believe everything you see online.
At the end of the day, yeah, it was
Subscribe
a joke,
to
but
the
people
channel,
don't really
y'all.
use their brains no more.
Subscribe
Like,
to the channel.
That's almost like a
double tap the screen to hit the like
the
button.
The news not talking about. That's how you know it's not true, people. You know what I'm saying? Just go look it up. Just go make sure for sure. Like,
or just watch CBS Detroit. We'll tell you.
Yes, watch CBS Detroit and see, because I'm sure they're gonna debunk this story and let everybody know it's not 13 lions running around, y'all.
I love using that.
Yeah, another interesting thing.
Yeah, homie got a big old gap in his mouth.
Thinking
by officers at the Saline Police Department and Michigan State Police helped a man suffering from a mental health crisis. The incident happened at the Saline Police Station and City Hall complex around 8 this morning. Investigators say a 29-year-old man from Manchester fired shots into the City Hall and police station building. Before leaving his home, the man called 911 and told dispatchers that he was suicidal. Officers with various agencies de-escalated the situation before anyone was hurt. Saline Police Chief Marlene Radzik says the man was taken into custody and is receiving mental health help. If you or anyone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, you can call or text 988 for help.
That's what's up.
We're learning more information about a deadly shooting that happened last night in Warren. It happened at a home in the area of Michael Avenue and Ryan Road. Investigators say officers arrived to the scene where they found 2 people had been shot. One person died at the scene, another was pronounced dead at the hospital. Now, it's believed that the 2 victims knew the shooter or shooters. The suspect fled the area before and has not been found. Now, if you have any information on the shooting, contact the Warren Police Department.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Double tap the screen to hit the like button, y'all. Turn us up on the lights.
The man police believe is responsible for a deadly shooting on Christmas Eve has been officially charged in court. 29-year-old Malik Webb from Flint is charged with 19 counts, including felony murder in Oakland County Court. Now, the felony murder charge carries a mandatory life sentence without parole if he's found guilty. Now, this shooting, it took place on Christmas Eve near Ray Road in Oxford. Investigators say Barbara Wolf was shot to death by Webb when she pulled over trying to help Webb, who had driven off the road into a ditch. Wolf's daughter and another Good Samaritan were also shot. Oakland County Magistrate Cody Ellwanger heard testimony from witnesses before the arraignment.
The allegations that I heard during the swear-to that were, well, to say that they were heinous would be an understatement. So at this time, the court's going to deny bond. Mr. Webb, you will remain in custody at the Oakland County Jail.
Webb is expected to be back in court on January 6th.
Plano police say they have identified the driver who struck a 12-year-old girl with her car and then just took off. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. Video captured the entire incident last week as the girl was walking to school. She was, no matter what you see on the screen, she was not seriously hurt. The driver has yet to be charged, but police say she has admitted to what she did. Fox Sports' David Santandri spoke with police today. David.
Yeah, the name of that woman will not be released until a judge signs an arrest warrant and she is formally charged. Now, police say this woman who hit the 12-year-old girl drove off and never turned herself in, but police were able to track her down. Video shows a 12-year-old girl being hit by an SUV while walking to school in Plano on December 12th. The driver stops for a couple seconds before reversing and driving off in a different direction.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel.
Identifying the driver.
Upon that, we had a lot of neighbors calling us, a lot of tips.
Now, the department says it has identified a woman as the suspect and is awaiting a judge to likely sign an arrest warrant.
The child had walked to school even though they had been just hit by the car.
Family members of the girl told Fox 4 she only had minor injuries. Still, the driver's failure to stop and render aid will likely lead to a felony charge. Officer Chapman says the woman has been interviewed by detectives.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel.
We understand that, but you
double tap the screen to hit the like button.
Says she expressed deep regret for not remaining at the scene to ensure the child's safety.
Just feeling sorry that she did that. Absolutely, deeply sorry. She didn't mean to do that. She realized she kept doing wrong things by leaving.
It's unclear, however, why she did not stop. It's also unclear if she saw any of the news reports highlighting the search for her. It's unclear why she never turned herself in. Instead, police say she only admitted to being the driver after they tracked her down. Fox 4 spoke with some neighbors who say they understand accidents happen. However,
could they relate to her leaving? No.
Plano Police.
Get the fuck.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel, y'all. Double tap the screen and hit the like button.
Jason Fauntleroy bought this lot hoping to build a home on it. But the purchase didn't come with just this sliver of land. It came with this entire street.
It's been a nightmare.
That's how Fauntleroy describes the back and forth he's been having with the city of Trenton. It's over this piece of land he's owned for 3 years. Fauntleroy claims the city began the process of reclaiming the land through eminent domain back in October. But when the property was appraised, instead of assessing all of the land, the lot, and the sliver of street out in front, Fauntleroy maintains they only appraised a portion.
They shut me out. They block my calls. It's hard to even get through to anybody.
Fauntleroy says he just wants the full and fair value. So I took his unanswered questions to the city of Trenton.
So he legally owns this lot here and this street?
Yes.
He purchased that. How could he purchase a street where there are multiple homes on that drive?
So I'm not sure how that occurs other than that it was a private drive that was created through a homeowners association. The homeowners association was responsible for maintaining that property.
Trenton City Manager Marcos Nichols says the city's actions are a result of contentious conversations.
If you purchase the street in addition to the lot, why is the lot only being assessed for property value in this eminent domain litigation?
So I cannot speak to the appraised value. The thought process with the appropriation process is to convert the private drive to a
subscribe to the channel, y'all. If y'all haven't subscribed to the channel, double tap the screen and hit the like button.
Take advantage of someone because they don't have the means of getting an attorney.
In Trenton, Jay Shakur, WCPO 9 News.
Man, that's crazy.
Newly released police body cam video is raising new questions.
How did a Sacramento County Sheriff's Patrol car end up in Europe? Tonight, we're getting answers. Thanks for staying with us at 11. I'm Marley Ginter. 5,700 miles separate Sacramento and Poland. Tonight, video of the patrol car going viral online. Your reporter covering Sacramento County, Madison Keevy, is getting answers straight from the sheriff's office on what's going on this one.
Oh man, confusion, some concern, and a lot of questions, Marley, from hundreds of people online. This video has just taken off, and tonight we've got their answers.
Tell me why I'm in Poland. And there's a sheriff's
subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel.
How did a Sacramento County Sheriff's vehicle end up on the other side?
It's 196 people in here. We only got 8 likes. I need y'all to double tap the screen to hit the like button or the 3 dots at the top to hit the like button. 235 people in here. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button. Come on, turn us up.
Of the world, driving the streets of Gniezno, Poland. Were you surprised to see the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office represented in Poland?
Well, I mean, it was nice to see, but no, this has actually been going on for quite a number of years, and turns out to be several hobbyists in Europe that like to collect American cars and repaint them, refinish them with police and law enforcement style finishes on there.
Poland, the latest on the list where Sac County's been spotted, including England, Iceland, and Germany. This one again in Poland back in September. A fad you wouldn't see on California streets. If a Sacramento County Sheriff's car is put up for auction, does it come with those decals?
Not at all. So everything's completely stripped off. There are 0 markings, and it's not just unique to us, but in California, I mean, obviously, whether you're buying it, use sheriff's vehicle, police vehicle, CHP vehicle, all of those decals are removed. Any markings of that agency are gone.
To drive these collector's items abroad requires the car be registered and the driver be licensed to drive in that country.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet.
Sticker packages.
Double tap the screen and hit the like button.
NYPD and sheriff decals. Famous, law enforcement agencies. You think LAPD, you think NYPD, and now perhaps the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office.
We're next on the list, so
I need 100 people to double tap the screen. Let's get 100 people to double tap the screen and get the lights up.
It's considered impersonating a law officer, and that's a misdemeanor. But because it's abroad, the Sheriff's Office says they welcome the tags to see just where Sacramento County shows up next.
Wow, who would have thought that some people just like to collect those things and then drop?
New Louisiana THC law.
Kick off 2025 with your best sleep ever and shop the New Year's event at the
Louisiana, man. Double tap the screen to hit the like button.
Law has come to an end. Local THC sellers say a lawsuit that could have halted a January 1st start date was thrown out.
Now they're scrambling to make changes to their products. Our Whitney Miller explains.
Retailers and distributors say this new law will hurt their business. For example, this can of THC seltzer has 50 milligrams in it, and come January 1st, they won't be able to sell it. Inside of Simply Cannabis, there's an array of products in different varieties.
CBD products, THC products, even like pet products.
And each product comes in different potencies.
High-strength products sell 100% better, especially because people can get multiple serving sizes out of one product.
But starting in January, those products that have more than 5 milligrams of THC per serving won't be on the shelves. It's why Simply Cannabis is hosting a doomsday countdown sale.
We obviously are preparing for the worst from the state just because the regulations are so heavy.
During the legislative session, lawmakers decided on a number of regulations for retailers and distributors of THC, ranging from potency limits to banning it from being sold in gas stations.
I get it. They feel like we're being unfair to them, but that was one of the main issues we kept hearing was kids going into convenience stores and they were seeing this product.
Joe Garrity, CEO of Crescent Canna, the company that sells Crescent 9 THC seltzers, says the last few months have been challenging.
Just making consumers aware of that some of their favorite products are no longer going to be available legally is a challenge for them and us.
He says now consumers may resort to buying high-potency products online or even the black market, a move he says takes money out of Louisiana.
It's completely impossible to exist as a company when every year you're fighting for your life with legislators who don't understand what they're doing and don't care to take your opinions.
During the session, legislators said the bill would be good for 1 year and could possibly be revisited next session. In New Orleans, Whitney Miller, WWL, Louis.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button. Turn us up on the likes, y'all. The 3 white dots at the top is another way you can hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Turn us up.
On Thursday, the people who knew and loved Pamela Cabriales asked a judge to send the teen to prison for a long time after a jury found that she was murdered by a 14-year-old after getting into a fender bender near Colfax and I-25 in 2021.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel.
To impress gang members when he fired at Pamela Cabriales' car. Alan Janae was in court where District Attorney Beth McCann said the sentence will ensure Remy Cordova is held accountable.
Outside the courtroom, after a long day of sentencing was over, the family of Pamela Cabriellis was remembering a 32-year-old mother who shared love and caring.
We love her. We look forward to one day being with her.
Brother Alex Cabriellis had done his best to explain to the court what his sister meant to those around her.
She was the example of what love and kindness.
Appreciate y'all for tapping that like button. Appreciate y'all for subscribing to the channel. Let's keep it going. I need 100 people to double tap the screen or hit the 3 white dots at the top. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed to the channel.
They weren't alone in sharing a stirring story. The defense talked about a long list of the troubles and a hard upbringing for Remy Cordova. Domestic violence, assault, being burned by cigarettes, a mother who amid her own troubles was accused of neglect, a father he barely saw who was later murdered.
He only saw his dad 3 or maybe 4 times out of his life.
Cordova himself spoke, apologizing for the Cabriellis family's pain, but still claiming no responsibility.
I'm terribly sorry for the pain that you guys feel, but I cannot take responsibility for something that I did not do.
Judge Daryl Shockley delivered the sentence, noting there had been failings at every level. After Remy Cordova's mother deferred blame.
Do you feel responsible for where your sons ended up?
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel.
It was
double tap the screen to hit the like button.
On all of our part.
But Pamela's family had little sympathy for Remy Cordova, thinking of the child left without a mother.
He gets up in the middle of the night screaming and yelling. What about Leo's trauma? What about my mom's trauma?
They wondered, was the sentence for a teenager convicted of killing Pamela enough?
You know, what is justice? You know?
Shit, I ain't even hear how much they gave him, y'all.
I'm not a bad person. I'm not a...
Now, this the dude right here that jumped over the goddamn bench to goddamn attack the judge. This the dude right here that attacked the judge in the courtroom in Las Vegas right here. Double tap the screen to hit the like button, y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Let's get to 1,300 subscribers. It's 176 people in here. If all y'all subscribe to the channel, we be at 1,300 subscribers, y'all. Let's run this up. Run it up. Double tap the screen. Hit the like button. I ain't turning nothing on until I see them likes go up. Yeah, I need them likes to go up. Double tap the screen to get them likes up, y'all. Okay. We need... Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I need at least 50 likes. I need at least 50 people to hit the like button, man.
Evil person.
31-year-old Dioba Redden pleads for leniency before a judge sentences him for this. An attack on District Court Judge Mary Kay Holthus as she sentenced him in January on a charge of attempted battery. Redden running up and jumping over Holthus's bench.
I'm not making excuses for my actions. I'm saying I'm not a bad person. And I know that I did not intend to kill Mary Kay Holthus. I know I cared about her well-being.
Holthus and a courtroom marshal both injured in the attack, leading prosecutors to charge Redden with attempted murder. During trial in September, Redden agreed to plead guilty, with the stipulation he's mentally ill.
I saw nothing but red, and I don't remember doing
subscribe
anything
to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel.
I was like, why are you doing this to me? That's what I wanted to ask her.
Double tap the screen to hit the like button.
I'm not really sure.
He made a conscious decision to kill me and made every effort to succeed. If he had his way, he'd be facing a sentence of life without the possibility of parole for murder.
Prosecutors reading a statement from Holthus during Tuesday's sentencing, Redden crying as his attorney explained his client's years-long battle with schizophrenia.
This is a person that can and would be able to do it given the appropriate help from a psychologist and mental health counselor.
As she handed down her 26 to 65-year sentence, the judge in this case saying this attack was one on all judges.
It was not just retaliation
for an attack on Judge Holthus. It was also an attack on the judiciary.
With credit for time served, Redden will be eligible for parole in the 2050s. He'd be in his mid-50s by then. I'm David Shorts, 8 News Now.
Days after the attack in January, Judge Holthus can...
But that little simple attack, man, he won't... They say 2050. Come on, man. It ain't even 2025 yet. They making sure, goddammit, they get at least 25 years out of him. Yeah, you think you gonna put your hands on a judge and you ain't gonna get no time? Nigga, we gonna get 25 up out of you for sure. Subscribe to the channel. Double tap the screen and hit the like button, man. We turning up over here, man. Y'all in the mix with Show Your Love right now, man. Yeah, I'm the only one that's breaking the news down to y'all, and we ain't even breaking it down. We just watching it. We just watching this crazy shit that's going on in the world every day. Every day. I might as well watch the news to look at the real people that's doing the crime instead of being on YouTube listening to motherfuckers talking about doing some shit and they ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm telling you? Yeah. Hey, double tap the screen, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It's 200 people in here. We should have 200 likes. Come on, man. Y'all stop acting like y'all fingers don't work. Y'all fingers working this motherfucker, man. For real. Oh, nah, we just watched that one. Come on. We just watched that.
These kids go from 0 to 100 overnight.
It doesn't matter the type of crime, where it happened, or the reason behind it.
Hey, you say they didn't have to do bro like that? Man, bro didn't have to jump over that bench like that. You seen the way that nigga jumped over that bench, nigga, and dived at that goddamn judge? Yeah, bro should have been controlling himself a little bit better up in that courtroom.
Minneapolis youth outreach activists
Bro
like
ain't
Aaron
have to
Smith
jump
say
over
it's
the bench
always
like that.
troubling when crime involves young people, especially this time of year.
It doesn't make any sense, right? I guess Santa Claus didn't
Appreciate
come.
you
Florence
coming
police
through,
arrested
G.
3
Appreciate you
teenagers
coming
for
through,
leading officers
EJ.
on a chase in a stolen car. It happened Saturday night just after 10 p.m. near East 42nd Street and North Franklin Road. Investigators
I just
say the
subscribed
trio
to your
ran off
channel,
from the
bro.
car, but were eventually apprehended by police.
You have to be accountable for where your kids are at. You should know where your kids are at all times.
Just an hour or so before that incident, IMPD says a teenager was shot in a separate disturbance on Indy's west side around 9 p.m. Police say it stemmed from an argument between the teen victim and a person in a car as the teen walked down the street. Smith says no argument should ever lead to gunfire.
You gotta have courageous conversations versus bold violence.
Already, G. Already.
And character.
Appreciate you coming by, bro.
The person that you're into,
yeah, this is what we do.
Into it with.
You know what I'm saying? We just watch the news, you know what I'm saying?
Kokomo
Just to
PD is
show
also
people what's going
investigating a
on
string of
around the
separate
world.
auto thefts.
Just to
The
keep
department
them
said
aware.
Friday it recovered
You never
2
know.
stolen
We probably
cars
have your
and detained
city on
5
here. You
juveniles
probably
connected
see
to
what's
the
going on
cases.
in your city.
Activists like Smith argue youth are growing up too quickly and often need more structure in their lives.
That's the problem. We have to get everybody back to the levels of life, right? You know, hey, you're just a teen. Stay a teen. Don't try to be an adult right now. Everybody thinks they have to be the person on the internet, and it takes time to get there.
Smith helps mentor indie juveniles. He also wrote an educational book to help youngsters become young stars. He says the Hoosier State is making progress when it comes to reducing teen crime, but there's more to be done to help all young people find their purpose.
We as a community need to find a way to help these kids direct that attention, you know, what they're doing into a legitimate fashion.
In Indianapolis, Michael Van Scoort, Fox
check this
59
out.
News.
Check this out. I'm on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, searching for content. Then I find this right here in Oklahoma. As you can see when I play this, they post this 11 hours ago. I know all these dudes right here personally. They from my hood. They from Houston. They from Acres Home. They was out there in Oklahoma getting it in. I say, man, I know these niggas right here. So I had to play this shit earlier. I'm about to play it again for y'all. These niggas out here fucking with them ATM machines trying to get them some money. Yeah, I can't even be mad at them. Shit, long as it's about getting you some money, shit, a nigga can't knock a nigga for getting no money. What you gonna talk down on a nigga for cause he trying to get him some money? Whatever he wanna do, that's his decision.
Arrested a trio of men suspected in
Watch
a violent
these boys,
ATM
man.
robbery. Investigators saying the suspects
All these niggas from Acres Home,
New court
man.
papers also reveal the men went to Kansas following the holdup here before later returning to the metro. News 4's Mecca Thompson tells us how a mistake made by one of those suspects while behind the wheel led to their arrests.
Trio of men from Houston, Texas, currently in the Oklahoma County Jail after a crime they allegedly committed here, leaving a worker with a knot on his head and hospitalized.
These boys out there in Oklahoma
Newly released
fucking
body
with them
cams showing
ATM
three
machines.
suspects moments before they were led away in handcuffs following an alleged robbery that same morning in War Acres.
They appear to purposely break the ATM. Then they wait for the service person to show up.
Court records say in early December, Tyrone Jones, Cortez
All
Martin, and
these
John
niggas
Kerry
from the
going
hood,
to a
man.
well-known bank branch at the corner of Northwest 35th and MacArthur in War Acres to rob an ATM. Police say the victim, an ATM technician, went to fix the machine after the suspects broke it.
He did not.
What's
give
going
Logan
on?
money,
What's going on?
And they then beat him.
What's the
and took
deal?
off on
What's the
foot.
deal?
An affidavit details the suspects telling the victim
300 people in here, man. Y'all double tap that screen and hit the like button, man.
An officer describes seeing fresh wounds on the left side of the victim's lip, right side of his cheek, and a large knot on the left side of his forehead.
The Oklahoma City Police and our detectives using flock cameras was able to locate a rental vehicle out of Houston,
That's
Texas.
right. That's
Oklahoma
right.
City police catching the trio in an evening traffic stop the same day of the robbery.
I can imagine when they saw the police cars behind them, they knew
Them
what
boys
had happened.
out there in
Officers say the
Oklahoma
getaway
getting
car
it
was
in.
spotted across state lines
They
in
drove
Wichita,
from
Kansas,
Houston all the way to
making it back down
Oklahoma
I-35
to
into
fuck with
Oklahoma
them
city limits
ATM
the same
machines.
day.
These
Two are being
niggas is
held
on the
on
road
$100,000
getting to the
bond
money.
and the other one's being held
You know
on
what I'm saying? They
$75,000
coming back to the city
assistant
with
chief
the
says
money,
the men are
man.
facing charges of
Not
robbery
this
and
time, though.
conspiracy. Becca Thompson, Oklahoma's News 4.
Yeah, they didn't come back with the money this time, but as you can see, man, them boys is taking trips, man, to OKC, man, to get them an ATM machine, man. Shout out to them boys, man. Hey, I see y'all, he said, I hope they get 80 years. I don't care how much time they get. Just imagine how much money they done made, goddammit. I know them boys are already out of jail. Probably done hit them another one by now, goddammit. Ain't no goddamn telling. Shit, they both had $100,000 bonds and $75,000 bonds, so shit, that ain't nothing to get out of jail. Yeah, man, them boys was goddamn fucking with, man, they say they did something to the ATM machine so the technician can pull up. When the technician pulled up, they done beat the technician up and told the technician to give him the money or they gonna shoot him. Man, come on, man. This is what's... Say he sound broke and ignorant. Hey man, I am broke and ignorant. And I will go get me an ATM machine too. Yeah. I'm kind of mad because I wasn't in the car with them niggas. Even though they got caught, but I can just imagine how many times they done got away with this shit, goddammit. Yeah, I'm mad that a motherfucker they didn't put me in the car. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Hit the goddamn like button. Yeah, if I see one of them niggas in the hood, I'm be like, man, I seen your ass on the goddamn news, nigga. Yeah, why y'all ain't let me know y'all was getting to the money? Y'all know show your love a ride. Yeah, I'm mad that a motherfucker I wasn't in the car. Hey, okay, look, these people right here in prison, they in a Mexico prison. They in a Mexico prison, but look how these niggas icy than a motherfucker in that bitch playing board games and shit. Check this shit out right here. Look how they living in the Mexico prison. Yeah, all I'm trying to do is make y'all laugh, bro. It ain't like a nigga serious, but I am serious about goddamn being in the car, though. I want to be in the motherfucking car, but I'm really just trying to make y'all laugh and shit. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Mexico City.
Aunque tenía un estigma el juego porque era de la prisión, mucha gente lo veía mal visto, pero ahora todo eso se ha ido perdiendo a través de la difusión y el impacto que ha tenido socialmente este juego, y lo juega de diferentes clases sociales. Hemos ido a las lomas de Chapultepec a dejar juegos a penthouse, a casas de gente multimillonaria, que digo, ellos cómo aprendieron.
Cuando ya salgo de la celda, tengo que hacer un recorrido periférico por toda la periferia y salir.
Yeah, I don't know what type of jail they in, but y'all see him out there chilling.
He's got some time left before he wraps up his tenure here at Fox. Going to coach at Norfolk State, in case you hadn't heard, head coach. Michael Vick.
Head man.
Yeah. Is that your Norfolk State green you're wearing now?
What's that?
Norfolk State green?
Well, I guess, they did a good job in the back coordinating this, and yeah, it's working right now. It's working right now, for sure.
You're on the recruiting trail already, I assume?
That diamond in that nigga ear, that bitch glistening, boy.
Last week was some of the best advice, and I know because everybody has been hitting me up like, you better do what Jimmy Johnson told you to do last week. And, so I've been, between coaches and just finding the right players, man, just going on a diligent search to try to do it right. And, Jimmy's phone going to be ringing off.
Keep that number.
Because I'm going to be calling.
You know what I told you? Recruit.
Yeah, dude in the chat tripping like a motherfucker, like he wouldn't give Diddy none of that ass for $30 million. Nigga, you would give Diddy some of that ass for $30 million, nigga. That's all you want to let us know. You want to let us know that you'll fuck Diddy for $30 million, bro. We know you'll fuck Diddy for $30 million, G.
Eight players
you
make
ain't got to
great
type
coaches.
about Diddy.
And
We know how you niggas feel about Diddy. Y'all wish Diddy would have fucked y'all and gave y'all some money.
Backup offensive guard, everybody. And how you do that?
We know how y'all feel about Diddy.
With everybody in the organization, because no one
you
likes
like,
to be
damn,
ignored.
why Diddy ain't touch me and give me some money?
And you're the leader now.
I'm the leader. I'm the guy.
A great advice from Jimmy Johnson. We've got another head coach who wanted to give you some advice as well.
Michael Vick, the new head coach of Norfolk State. Man, is that school lucky to have you. You're going to do a great job. Those kids are fortunate to have you, probably most of all, to learn from, and you'll be awesome. You'll be great for the university.
Come on, man.
And,
that's a white man giving a nigga his props.
A great job for him. So all the best going forward. And I'm now a Norfolk fan.
Come on, man.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Jimmy, man, for giving that boy some props.
That advice coming from Coach. I know Coach sincerely means that. I know he believes in me. He know the type of talent that I possess, and so, all the things that I've learned, over the years from all these coaches, I kind of just got to combine it, and without being overly sophisticated, because it is college football, but just try to make it so that these
double
kids
tap the screen and hit the like button.
The best leadership and mentorship.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel.
Oh boy, you need a good quarterback.
Let's get to 1,300 subscribers.
They don't have that much Ben Gay. That means he's not on the scholarship like he needs.
That's a nice way of saying no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Vick, man. Michael Vick got him a head coach position, man. Shout out to that boy, man. For real, for real. Shout out to that coach, too, for coming on here, giving the homie some positive words, It wasn't dry hating or, acting like he was mad about him getting the position, Shout out to the homie, Jimmy, whoever his name is, man, for coming on here, showing his appreciation and showing Michael Vick some love on here, man. Subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Double tap the screen if y'all haven't double tapped the screen yet. That's how you hit the like button, by double tapping your screen. It's 3 dots at the top to where you can click on that and hit the like button. Let's get these subscribers up and let's get these likes up, y'all. We got niggas in the chat talking about they love Diddy. Yeah, we got people in the chat talking about they love Diddy. That nigga say he love Diddy. Yeah.
We've talked about the new rules for outdoor dining sheds. Well, now a Brooklyn pizzeria is under fire for trying to skirt the law by using a school bus as a makeshift dining room. City officials say, not so fast. Eyewitness News reporter Pedro Rivera has the story from Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
What happened?
Even on a rainy day, Linda Street Pizza is packed with hungry New Yorkers.
Are you ready to order?
The place only fits 7 customers comfortably, so they came up with a solution.
We thought it was a cool idea, you know, to buy a bus and then park it legally in the street.
When you're a small shop like this, you fit 7 to 8 people, and you get an extra 20, 30 seats. It makes all the world of a difference.
Since October, this bus has been parked in front of this busy pizzeria on 2nd Street in Williamsburg. It's renovated with seating on the inside, lights and solar panels on top to power the battery.
We move it like 2 days a week for cleaning street, and it was just something natural. You know, people don't even ask, they just walk outside the pizzeria and they get inside the bus.
But with more attention coming to the bus, the Department of Transportation has now taken notice. Just 2 weeks ago, some 13,000 restaurants were mandated to take down their outdoor dining sheds, and they complied. Co-owners Massimo Laviglia and Nick Baglivo thought they may have found a workaround.
And we can't have a structure. It's not a structure. It's a legally parked car. Just so happened people to eat pizza in it.
And you can really see why lines of people have been coming here to grab a slice.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Double tap the screen to get the likes up.
And they're not alone. 136 warnings have been sent out since the November 29th deadline, and that includes Aza Wine and Chocolate Bar on 31st Street in Midtown. They use this trolley to seat their customers. They too have been issued a warning.
How all the business they can afford that? It's gonna cost you like 50 to 100,000 just for a season.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet.
A reoccurring $1,000 fine. They also jeopardize their applications for the next round of seasonal roadway dining sheds in April. The owners tell me on a day like today when the rain is coming down, it would have been nice to have their bus open, but because of that warning from the DOT, they said they're going to keep the bus doors closed for several days. In Williamsburg, Pedro Rivera, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
God damn.
Nothing makes a gathering
They
great.
need to do their thing. Hey, what's going down? Y'all appreciate y'all coming over here, man. Tapping in with Show Your Love, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. Come on, man. Support the channel by subscribing and hitting the like button. I ain't even put the cash up out there yet.
A baby girl was at the hospital tonight after being found outdoors in a shopping bag. Someone abandoned the infant in front of a home in the Morrisania section of the Bronx. The man who lives there was at his mosque when he got a phone call. It was from a friend who had passed by and heard the baby crying. The resident ran home where he found the baby wrapped in a blanket inside the bag.
I called 911, it was called, I took the baby inside. I didn't want to mess up with any evidence, but it was too cold. I have to take the baby from outside. It's amazing. I never thought something like this would happen in my life, but you know, it's life.
They don't got no morals. Like, why would you do that to a newborn baby?
The baby is in stable condition. The home is next to a nonprofit organization that provides a variety of family services. New tonight in Brooklyn, police are guarding up.
Damn, that's crazy.
Hey everyone, I'm Tanya Rivero. Joe has the night off. We begin with that deadly shooting in Hell's Kitchen and the urgent search for the shooter. Police believe the shooting started as an argument early this morning on West 49th Street. When officers arrived at the scene, they found a man shot twice and fighting for his life. He died at the hospital shortly after. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Hugh has the details.
Hold on, now this crazy. It say deadly Hell Kitchens. I hope that ain't the Hell Kitchen that be on the TV, because I be watching that shit.
Hey everyone, I'm Tanya Rivero. Joe has the night off. We begin with that deadly shooting in Hell's Kitchen and the urgent search for the shooter. Police believe the shooting started as an argument early this morning on West 49th Street. When officers arrived at the scene, they found a man shot twice and fighting for his life. He died at the hospital shortly after. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Hugh has the details.
People living on this block in Hell's Kitchen woke up to crime scene tape in cop cars Saturday morning.
We didn't know that something happened here. The only thing that we knew, like,
My sister said maybe they're filming or something.
Police say a 35-year-old man was shot twice in the stomach inside this building on West 49th Street near 9th Avenue. Investigators believe this all started as an argument and ultimately escalated to violence just before 3 a.m. The 35-year-old later died at the hospital. Heavily armed officers were seen
Subscribe to
walking
the
in and
channel
out
if you
of the
haven't
building
subscribed to
overnight.
the channel, y'all.
You know, I save lives every day.
Double tap the screen to hit the like button.
Why would this happen? It doesn't make any sense.
Our cameras were there as officers brought
really?
someone out of the building Saturday afternoon in handcuffs, put them in the back of the patrol car, and drove away. Though at this point, authorities have not confirmed if or how they were involved in the crime. One neighbor tells Eyewitness News it's not unusual to hear arguments in this building.
Yesterday I was hearing the screaming, but I didn't know, like, I thought that, like, it was like every day and every time, like every week what's happening, the music and the woman and the man, but there was a third voice there.
Other neighbors say it's terrifying to know this happened so close to home and say this makes them even more concerned about their own safety.
I mean, it's tragic, you know, it's disappointing that, you know, we got people out here still acting like that can't take care of themselves and take care of others, you know, like, we're supposed
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the
In
channel.
Hell's Kitchen,
Double
GSU
tap the
Channel
screen
7,
to hit the
Eyewitness
like button.
News.
This New Year's Eve, we're not just feeling the holiday spirit. ABC.
Appreciate y'all tapping in over here with Show Your Love. You know we gonna keep the content going. Subscribe to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button. Hit all notifications
Fire in
after
the Brooklyn
subscribing.
subway car, indicted today on 5 charges. One of those charges for Sebastian Zapata now faces first-degree murder, which carries the possibility of life without parole.
The Brooklyn District Attorney now fighting to keep that case in state court going forward, despite Mayor Adams' request to get it in front of a federal judge. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles.
I have a lot of confidence in the people of Brooklyn and the people who come and serve on jury
that's
duty.
New York.
The crime happened in Brooklyn. The case should stay in
know it's
Brooklyn.
going down
That's
out
the
there in
message
New York.
from Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez Friday morning during an impromptu press conference at the doorstep of Supreme Court. 33-year-old Sebastian Zapata now indicted by a grand jury for setting a homeless woman on fire on the subway and then watching her burn to death.
We believe very strongly that this case belongs in state court because of the charges here are more significant in state court than currently in federal court.
Gonzalez dismissing any suggestion the case should be handled by federal prosecutors after earlier this week, Mayor Adams directed the NYPD to work with Homeland Security and ICE to explore criminal prosecution of undocumented immigrants.
Something is clearly wrong with a person that would set an innocent individual on fire, a woman, and sit there and watch her burn.
Zapata is a Guatemalan national who was deported in 2018, but re-entered the U.S. and had been living in a homeless shelter in Brooklyn. Police say surveillance video from inside a subway car at the Coney Island station shows him setting a sleeping woman on fire Sunday morning.
As many of you know, the criminal court complaint and the indictment at this time indicates the death of a Jane Doe.
Clergy leaders holding a vigil for the still unidentified victim Thursday afternoon. Prosecutors using advanced fingerprinting and advanced DNA to put a name and a face to the victim, tragically burned beyond recognition.
We're working on that. We're working on trying to go back and trace when she entered the subway system and exactly, if there's a clear shot of her face.
Zapata has been indicted on 4 counts of murder. That includes murder in the first degree, which at the state level carries a maximum sentence of life without parole. He waived his appearance in court today, but will return on January 7th when the indictment will be unsealed. In downtown Brooklyn, Darla Miles, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Some disturbing video released today in the apparent beating death of a prison inmate in central New York State.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all. We at 1,200 subscribers, y'all. I need 100 more people to subscribe to the channel so we can get to 1,300.
Court today for a 67-year-old man from
Need
Westchester
100
County.
more people
Jeffrey
to
Coons
subscribe to the
spent
channel
8
so we can be
years
at
behind bars for a
1,300
robbery he did not commit.
subscribers.
And although he was released in 1992, today a judge finally overturned his conviction after the discovery that the detectives lied during the case. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger was in court in Mount Vernon.
Vindication has been a long time coming for Jeffrey Coons. He's lived under a cloud of conviction for decades, but at 67, he's finally free.
I feel new. I feel new again, you know, and especially the fact that all these years I've been telling everybody I don't know anything about what you're talking about.
In 1981, 3 men robbed a social club here on Sanford Boulevard in Mount Vernon. One of them opened fire with a sawed-off shotgun, hitting a teenage boy, whose hazy recollection formed the basis of a flawed identification of Coons, who's maintained to this day he wasn't even in Mount Vernon at the time.
The idea that you would just collect whatever African-American men to put in front of a witness, a traumatized witness, will only lead to a miscarriage of justice.
Mount Vernon police showed the victim this crudely arranged photo array. Coons is number 4, clearly larger and clearer than the others. The victim picked him out. Far from enough evidence, but it stuck. Kenneth Kaufman was Coons' original lawyer.
It was a very shaky ID situation.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Thank you for getting me to 1,200 subscribers, y'all. The new goal is 1,300. I need 100 people to subscribe to the channel so I can get to 1,300 subscribers, y'all. Double tap the screen and hit the like button.
Reviewing past convictions, especially from Mount Vernon, where one of the case detectives wound up convicted of corruption. Prosecutors determined Coons is, in fact, innocent. After prison, he'd go on to start a business and raise 6 kids. One, Malcolm, is a defensive end for the Las Vegas Raiders. Another, Dewan, recently retired as a New York State trooper, where he served in the governor's security detail. He was 6 when his dad went to prison. Today, he saw him exonerated.
I wanted to be a lawyer first. I just wanted to be a lawyer to get my dad out of jail. But then I became a cop because I realized instead of being a part of the problem, you can be a part of the solution. And you can lead by example. Stay the course. Everything is going to work out. And proof positive and whatnot, people come into your life and they help straighten it out, and that's what they do.
Mr. Coons is one of an alarming number of defendants across the country, by some estimates as many as 10%, who were wrongfully convicted, and in many cases served entire sentences for crimes they never committed in the first place.
Kick off 2025 with your best sleep ever and shop the New Year's event at the Living Spaces Sleep Center. Save big on select Tempur-Pedic.
Developing in Brooklyn, a worker killed at a homeless shelter. Cops are now trying to track down the killer this morning. That's where we find Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate joining us live in Brownsville with more. Just a tough start to the morning, Phil.
Yeah, Pedro, good morning. I just spoke with a community member moments ago. He's just devastated to hear this news of a shelter worker who was stabbed to death inside of this shelter just right behind me around 6:15 yesterday evening. That suspect is still at large this morning, and that is really the focus of investigators' investigation right now, is tracking this person down. Let's get straight to some video right now. We're told that that suspect had come behind that victim, stabbed him multiple times, both in his stomach and neck. Now, the 35-year-old victim, who many say was a hard-working man, was rushed to Brookdale Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Now, police right now are canvassing the area for any clues and looking for any video surveillance inside the Days Inn by Wyndham Brooklyn here on East New York Avenue. Now, this facility is a shelter that isn't run by the city, rather a contracted nonprofit hired by the Department of Homeless Services. Now, authorities hope anything that they find could help them track down that suspect still at large. This morning, I spoke with a community member learning of this unfortunate incident. Let's take a listen.
Gotta keep your eyes open, your head on swivel, pretty much, you know, so. But I've been here for a while, so I'm kind of used to it, so. But to see the news, you know, I was just like, whoa, what happened? So that.
Well, take a look at this. Most water pipes are now made out of PVC, but that certainly wasn't always the case. In fact, in December of last year, construction crews in northwest Denver uncovered a surprising piece of history near Federal Boulevard and West 25th. An old water pipe
A busy night, and we start with breaking news in Englewood. A large police presence near the corner of West Mansfield Avenue and South Inca Street.
What you talking about?
Fox 31's Aaliyah Sims live at the scene first. She's been there for hours. Ellie, I'm understanding you have some new info on this barricade situation.
Yeah, Nicole, we have been here for the last 3 hours, and you can take a look behind me and see that this is still a really active scene. Now, we learned from Englewood Police that this all started around 3:45. They were actually dispatched to assist Denver Police in locating suspects in a vehicle that was involved in a robbery earlier today.
Appreciate you coming through, Peaches. Make sure you goddamn subscribe to the channel.
Located the suspect
hit the like button for me.
and followed behind it in the area of West Mansfield Avenue and South Inca Street. That's where officers saw multiple suspects running away and entering a nearby home on South Inca Street. SWAT and Englewood Police ordered several people to come out the home. We heard officers make that request several times over a bullhorn saying, "Come out with your hands up." Now, we're told that a number of people inside the home have since exited, and police are still investigating whether there is a connection between those people and the suspects. Now, in this situation, we also learned that there are 3 people that are currently possible suspects for this robbery. They are now in custody, and the investigation into the sequence of events is still ongoing. So back here live, you can see that this is still an active scene. Now, we're told by police that they're not going to be releasing many more details about this situation until everything is resolved here. But of course, we'll keep monitoring this area and the scene, and of course, as we get more developments and updates, we'll make sure to bring it to you live and on our website at ktvr.com. Reporting live here in Englewood, Aaliyah Sims, Fox 31.
Yeah, such an active scene with so many components to this criminal investigation. Thank you so much.
Rev up your excitement.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Double tap the screen to hit the like button.
Guest at the Ritz-Carlton Atlanta says his SUV loaded with Christmas presents was stolen right in front of the valet stand, and he wants answers. It happened around 2 a.m., and the out-of-towner says management is withholding the surveillance video and information. Fox 5's Brittany Evney is live outside the hotel. Brittany, what more details have you been able to find out?
We've learned a lot about the situation, Christine, and I can tell you we're outside the hotel where from here you can see the valet area right over here behind me. I'm told that there are cameras there, but Tony Urban was told by hotel management if he wants video of the crime, he'll need to get a court order.
Peaches, make sure you tap back in now.
This 2021 Hellcat
I hope this ain't gonna be my last time seeing you over here.
Valet Circle early Christmas Eve morning.
Subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't subscribed to the channel yet.
Full of Christmas gifts for his son.
Not thinking nothing about it because the car was in front of the front door of the Ritz-Carlton and valet. So I left all the gifts there, knowing that the next day I would leave out.
What explains is the circumstances
that boy in front of the Ritz-Carlton and got his whole truck stolen.
Adding he paid $60 a night for valet, and says upon check-in, the valet told him for an extra $100 he'd keep it parked in this valet area for safekeeping, and has since learned the keys weren't tagged.
I still think the key should have been tagged. Whatever their protocol is, I think it should have been followed.
Upon checkout, he was told the car was stolen around 5 hours earlier.
They told me that somebody busted a window and used a device to start the car, and they drove off with the car.
Urban says if they had told him when it happened, he could have tried to track and disable it remotely, and immediately asked where the broken glass was or what trash can it was put into.
They forgot where the glass was stored from the busted window.
Urban filed a police report with APD and an incident report with the Ritz-Carlton. The hotel
subscribe to the channel, y'all. It's 210 people in here. Let me get y'all to double tap the screen and run the like button up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet.
We reached out to the Ritz-Carlton Atlanta, and the hotel has declined to comment, citing a police investigation. We also reached out to Evolution Parking, which Mr. Urban was told was the valet service provider, and as of this time, we have not yet heard back from that company. Reporting live in downtown Atlanta, Brittany Edney, Fox 5 News.
He gets the answers he's looking for eventually. Brittany, thanks so much.
Continue to honor the life and legacy of former President Jimmy Carter. Now, when Carter won the presidency back in 1976, he asked the civil rights leader from Georgia, then Congressman Andrew Young, to be the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Let's head back out to Fox 5's Russ Spencer. You're there at the Carter Center. Russ, we know that you had a chance to speak with the ambassador today about their long friendship.
Eric, it was a decades-long friendship rooted in their Christian faith and their belief that with hard work and a devotion to the truth, they can make the world a better place. Andrew Young was the first African-American to serve as U.S. ambassador to the UN.
I think he was taking a chance on me, just as I was taking a chance on him. It was very unusual in the 1970s to have someone, not unusual to have someone from Atlanta, but to have someone from South Georgia to be so relaxed and present in the presence of minorities. He had grown up in a county that was 80% black most of his life. He actually was more comfortable with black people than he was with white people, I think. He viewed people according to their abilities and their commitments, and he treated us all like we were his family.
Well, as you know very well, Mr. Ambassador, back in 1971, during his inauguration as governor, he said the time for racial discrimination is over. Put that into some context for it. That surprised some of his supporters, did it not?
Well, it surprised everybody, because I don't think there had ever been a Southern politician born and raised in the South who would say that publicly in the South before a state legislature. I'm in favor of the way he was moving in Africa. He asked me to meet with as many African leaders as possible, and by that he meant not only black leaders in Africa, but South African white leaders in Africa, and we were able to move South Africa toward.
Seasonings greetings, bro.
I'm sorry, did you say seasonings greetings?
Cha, it's the best time of year. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dennis House.
I'm Ann Nyberg. Cracking the Code is a News 8 exclusive. In Connecticut, the fight against criminals has gone high-tech.
It all centers around cell phones and who can see what, and it's a real turning point for police. News 8 investigative reporter Jeff Derderian's here now with what this new tool is. Jeff?
Yeah, Dennis and Ann, we use these every day, right? The phones every minute of every day. For some of us, they are the diary of our lives, really. And now, Connecticut police have a new tool in fighting crime.
The things we carry, we hold them close, treasure them, depend on them. But what happens when the cell phone's not there? That hollow feeling creeping in? Anxiety, maybe. Panic, perhaps. Yes, our phones have become more than devices. They're the keepers of our victories, and yes, our secrets, too.
So I have your entire life.
At the Connecticut Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection Forensic Crime Lab, they're peeling back the layers, pixel by pixel. Special extraction technology, News 8 getting an exclusive look at something called Gray Key that can get inside your phone, even if it's locked with that 6-digit secret user code you made.
We're in a high security area of the lab. This is where phones are worked on. Keep in mind, before this technology existed, police agencies could not get all of this information off of your phone.
It's actually very difficult, so the user passcode is set for security reasons. It will make it so you or I cannot get into the device itself.
You can tap delete over and over, thinking you're erasing things on your phone, but in this digital age, nothing is ever truly gone, and this technology is now changing police work here in Connecticut. Before Gray Key, criminals could plan, maybe even brag on their devices. Phones are plugged into this high-tech device, and within hours, the data comes spilling out. What can it see?
Your contacts, your internet search history, your pictures, your videos, your location data, your email, your calendar.
That's not all. Venmo and Cash App data, banking info, social media, child's play for this technology. One agency using this powerful crime-fighting weapon Waterbury Police.
Shooting cases, homicides, 2 recent homicides. Great Key was used to get into phones and collect information that assisted us with identifying people that were involved.
Our phones are more than just tools. They're witnesses to everything we do. And in the hands of investigators, if you're a criminal, your phone isn't just a device. It's a time capsule that always leaves a trace.
That's right, it does. It leaves a trace. This technology works on all types of cell phones, no matter the brand. The training is specialized for investigators, and the hope is that...
The last thing he said is, I'm gonna go find the hummus.
Always at Pips.
At Aldi, we don't have massive stores you get lost in, so you can shop without leaving anyone behind. It's an Aldi thing.
In Fox 59 Money Matters, scammers have a new tool to go after your money by literally tricking your phone into connecting to their signal.
And if you have one of these, an iPhone, apparently you're more at risk. Zach Myers here to tell us about SMS Blaster. Zach.
That's right. Google just put out a warning about this technology that some bad guys are using. It's a small device, not that big. It's about this big. It sends out a signal like a mini cell tower, and it can trick nearby phones into connecting to it instead of your real network. SMS blasters are small enough for crooks to drive around with them in their car. There have been some reports of scammers walking around with them in their backpack. So if you're close to it, your phone might automatically connect to it instead of your Verizon or AT&T or whatever you're on. If that happens, you can be in trouble because the signal from the SMS blaster bypasses all the security that your network uses to filter out spam calls and texts. So the bad guys at that point can just blast you with as many messages as they want as long as you're connected to their signal. And of course, that's how they often get people to click on bad links or upload malware to devices. As far as protecting yourself, there is good news, but also bad news.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all, if y'all haven't subscribed to the channel
network. Remember that? Carriers don't even use it anymore, but it's still out there, and phones can still connect to it if there's a signal. Google says Android users can go into their settings and disable 2G on their phones, and if you do that, you're safe from the device. You're good. Your phone won't connect to it. However, there's currently no way to disable 2G on the iPhone without putting it into lockdown mode. So iPhone users could be more at risk from these devices right now. Now, it's possible that Apple could make that an option to disable that at some point. In the meantime, though, I'm going to have instructions on how to disable 2G on an Android device attached to this story at fox59.com. For Money Matters, I'm Zach Myers.
Indiana Task Force 1 has been activated by FEMA to respond as a search and rescue team to Florida. Consists of 80 people and in support of FEMA Region 4 ahead of the potential tropical storm Helene you just heard Tyler talking about. That storm is expected to become a tropical cyclone this week. Of course, we'll keep tabs on Task Force 1.
Court documents claim 2 police informants were killed last week by a man police say
subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet.
Found in a river in Fort Wayne. Fox 59's Eric Graves breaks down these court documents and their connections to a drug investigation in Richmond. Eric?
Court documents say a Richmond Police Department informant was picked up at this apartment complex just a day before his body was found in a Fort Wayne river. Fort Wayne police say last Friday, volunteers cleaning up the St. Mary's River found 2 bodies inside of trash bags. The coroner identified the 2 people as Matthew Johnson and Christina Dixon, both reported missing out of Richmond earlier that week.
Know it.
Johnson was shot and stabbed, and Christina had been strangled. Court documents detail how multiple witnesses and the Richmond police helped connect this man, Dominique Washington, to the 2 victims. Richmond PD told Fort Wayne detectives Johnson and Dixon were both police informants in an investigation that led to a drug raid 2 weeks ago at a Richmond home where multiple narcotics were found. Court docs say Richmond police told detectives Dominique Washington went by Nico and was a known drug dealer with a connection to the raided house. Police used surveillance video and witness accounts to place Washington picking up Johnson at the Genesis apartment complex and then picking up Dixon from a Richmond home on Thursday. Monday night, Washington was arrested during a traffic stop as he tried to leave this home on Campbell Ave. Washington is now being held without bond, charged with murder and kidnapping in the deaths of both Johnson and Dixon. Dominique Washington's initial court hearing is set for Wednesday in Allen County Court. Reporting in Richmond.
Boy, that's crazy. He thought he was gonna get away with that.
Ardmore, Oklahoma.
Yeah, he thought he was gonna get away with that. You ain't get away, homie.
For the first time, we are hearing from a North Texas man who unwittingly stumbled into a brutal killing situation. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. 2 people are now facing capital murder charges for the stabbing death of a 53-year-old man
to the
in
channel.
Garland. A man who alerted police had gone to the condo to pick up a spare key. He didn't realize he walked into a murder scene. Fox 4's David Santendri is at the Dallas County Jail tonight, or outside it with the very latest. David?
Well, upon discovering the body, the witness describes just a bizarre scene, including drugs and ice cream.
They were just two cold-hearted people that I thought were friends.
Jalen Gray is talking about 2 former friends, Haley Barber and Leo Moore. The 20-year-olds are charged with capital murder after Gray turned them in to Garland police.
I know everybody's scared to go to the police, scared to be called a rat or a snitch.
Barber and Moore were temporarily living with Johnny Ross Jr. in his condo when, according to an affidavit, they stabbed the 53-year-old in his neck while he was asleep
on them people,
so they
man.
could steal his money and
folks.
cars. Gray bought one of those cars, a Corvette, from Barber before knowing the owner was murdered. Gray says Barber told him the Corvette belonged to her grandfather, who passed away.
She said, "Going afterlife."
Gray met Barber at the condo to get a spare key for the car, and according to an arrest warrant, Gray smelled something foul. After asking Barber about it, he told police Barber casually showed him the body, which was wrapped in a rug and sheets in a closet.
He was like, "I know you're not gonna tell on me, bestie."
Gray told police Barber was doing drugs inside the condo. Police say they found remnants of drugs.
I seen Haley Barber sniffing a white powdery substance off the dresser. She was sniffing it right as I walked in. I was like already sniffing it.
Gray says after Barber showed him the body, she offered him ice cream.
I said, "No, I'm good. I didn't want it." I had to keep my composure, which was kind of hard.
After Gray left, he interviewed with police, and Barber and Moore were arrested following a vehicle pursuit. According to an arrest affidavit, both admitted to the murder plot, saying Moore is the one who stabbed Ross Jr. But after realizing he was still alive in the condo nearly 10 hours later, they decided to finish him off. The body was only discovered several days after the killing. Ring camera footage shows Barber and Moore going in and out of the condo. Gray says he never suspected his friends could be alleged killers.
Never in my life, never.
And given their suspected drug use, he did not know if they would turn on him.
Would they, stab me?
Again, Barber referred to the victim as her grandfather, but that is not the case. However, Barber and...
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button. 335 people in here. I need y'all to subscribe to the channel.
In a series of raids in Indianapolis. These arrests follow a lengthy investigation into
chill,
a gang
Will.
suspected
Yeah, that was about the smartest thing he did. If he would have ate that ice cream, his ass would have been wrapped up in the rug, too.
At least 5 people between the ages of 16 and 18 were arrested during a series of raids last week, which took place at numerous homes, including this one behind me on 34th Street. Police hope the case serves as a warning for other young people involved in criminal gang activity. Handcuffed and taken away in a squad car, several members of the
Appreciate it, James.
gang
Appreciate you,
were rounded up
James.
and arrested by IMPD last week with the goal of preventing senseless violence.
When we remove these individuals from the city, that's what's making our city safer. That's what's allowing people to sleep at night.
This detailed 66-page affidavit provides a timeline of at least 8 shooting incidents connected to the same gang, dating back to
I just
March
subscribed to everybody's page. Everybody that drop a comment, I'm subscribing to y'all page.
These pictures show
So
members
if you
of the
need a
Taliban
subscriber,
Chopper gang
drop a
like to pose
comment
with
and I'll
firearms
subscribe.
on social media and threaten their rivals. Court records claim the group also
Everybody
frequently posted
subscribe to
pictures of
everybody
guns
pages
with
so
machine gun
everybody can
conversion
get
devices
subscribers.
online, at times using Instagram to try and sell those weapons.
378, what's up, G?
18-year-old Gustavo Cervantes Faustino.
Already, James. Appreciate you watching. All the way from New York.
Promising to kill his
Yeah,
enemies.
we just left out there in New York. We had some news from New York.
Post, allegedly shows one member claiming credit for a retaliation shooting. Another suspect, 18-year-old Hector Suarez, is suspected of taking part in violence stemming from the sale of marijuana vapes at
Appreciate you being new. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and double tap the like button.
Just a few people can be responsible for a long list of crimes. That's why IMPD hopes the raids last week will save lives.
It removes that small amount of individuals that are repeatedly committing these same acts over and over, and we're removing them from our community. Working together, the state level, the federal level, we will find the individuals responsible for criminal activity, and we will remove them from our community to make it a safer place.
Finally, the suspects are due in court for initial hearings later this week.
Hey, look, you ain't even got to subscribe to the motherfucking channel, bitch. Don't tell me to shut up when I'm trying to promote my motherfucking channel. Only way I'm going to promote my shit if I tell these motherfuckers to subscribe to this goddamn channel, bitch. I don't want your subscribe anyway. I hate when motherfuckers come in this bitch and try to tell me what the fuck to do on my goddamn channel. You stupid son of a bitch. Now take that motherfucking subscribe and shove it up your asshole.
In the meantime, it is up to the Marion County Prosecutor's Office to file formal charges in the case. Jesse Wells, CBS 4 News.
We got Greenwood in this hole.
We don't sell coffee.
We got Greenwood in this hole. Salute. Salute, man. Appreciate y'all coming over here, man. Make sure y'all double tap the screen.
On their way to a funeral
Hit
for
that
a
like
homicide
button.
victim over the weekend. The men are accused of having several illegal guns and drugs in this vehicle. Police say their officers prevented a potentially violent incident.
What's good, fam?
Okay,
Harris County.
how they caught them.
The real up in this bitch. I see y'all coming up in this bitch. Williams up in this bitch.
The funeral for 15-year-old Devin Gilbert happened this past
weekend. I'm down here in Harris County too, man. H-Town finest, man. Acres home, born and raised in this motherfucker.
There on Lehman Avenue tonight. IMPD telling us that work by detectives likely prevented more people from getting hurt.
I'm subscribing to everybody.
Officers were already on high alert on Saturday after the mother of 15-year-old Devin Gilbert received threats to shoot up her home as well as the church where she was saying her final goodbyes to her son. Gilbert was gunned down outside his high school earlier this month.
The mother of a homicide victim shouldn't have to worry about anything else other than taking care of herself, taking care of her family.
According to court findings,
NC up in this motherfucker, man. Appreciate y'all coming through, rocking with me.
This SUV at the Blackburn Terrace apartment complex near 30th and Keystone. As they approached the funeral, officers stopped them, and inside the car, they say they found numerous guns, including this loaded handgun sitting next to a rifle loaded with 40 live rounds, and this gun with a machine gun conversion device attached. Detectives say they also
riding around with that shit on them.
M30 pills that are known as oxycodone. The four men police arrested are felons.
Virginia in here, shout out to you, Virginia in here. Now this is what you call riding around with that shit on you. Look, they got a switch on that motherfucker and everything. Now, when you hear them young people say, man, I got that shit on me right now, this what they mean when they say they got that shit on them right now. Yeah, they got that pistol and they got whatever type of drug you looking for. You know what I'm telling you? For real. I'm rocking with you, my bro. Already, young boy. Appreciate you rocking with me, G. Yeah, I subscribe to everybody's channel, man. If you need some subscribers, just goddamn come in the chat and we gonna get everybody to subscribe to your channel. Everybody that come in the chat, I'm subscribing to your channel, man.
Therefore, couldn't legally have those guns. IMPD says they can't say for certain what their motive was, but one of the men told police they had the guns for protection.
In this situation, we had a teenager who was killed because of violence, and for that to continue is not the answer.
A 15-year-old boy has been charged in Gilbert's murder, and the prosecutor intends to move the case to adult court. The funeral for Gilbert went forward as planned, with police saying things could have gone south had officers not been watching and stepped in.
The important thing about this, I think, is it shows the great work of our officers, the cooperation members of our community, and we will never know the potential violence that was stopped and averted because of their work.
The four men arrested remain in the Marion County Jail tonight. All of them are scheduled to have their initial court appearances tomorrow morning. On the city's east side, Max Lewis, Fox 59 News.
Max. I appreciate everybody coming over here showing your support. Thank you. Thank you for everybody subscribing to the channel. Thank you for everybody hitting the like button. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all. Now, this is an 18-year-old that was arrested for murder, and he removed his ankle monitor. Yeah, and he removed his ankle monitor. Let's go and get to it real quick. See, this the type of stuff that's going on around y'all, man. Y'all don't even know. Some of y'all know, though. But I know most of y'all probably don't watch the news. That's why Show You Love got his own YouTube channel where we can watch the news for the people, you know what I'm saying, that's on the way to work, is getting off of work or something. Yeah, y'all can ride
in
and
jail
listen.
accused of murder and robbery that's connected to a deadly shooting at an apartment complex on Indy's near North Side.
Fox 59's Jesse Wells digs into the suspect's criminal history, which some say points to an even bigger problem.
Court records show for several months before the deadly shooting here at this apartment complex, the murder suspect had an active warrant for his arrest after pleading guilty to an armed robbery when he was just 16 years old. Some community leaders say the case once again illustrates a common problem with the court system.
Just after noon on Wednesday, July 12th, gunshots rang out at the Brownstone Apartments on North Meridian and left 19-year-old Elijah Martin dead.
I heard I thought it was like some loud booms earlier when I was getting ready for work.
Another witness says he saw the victim crawl out of this apartment door and explained he'd been shot inside. That witness then flagged down an officer in the area. Nearly 2 weeks later, police arrested 18-year-old Jeremiah Shanks for that murder.
The courts are not working with us to keep the most violent people in our city off the streets. That's the problem.
In fact, these court records show Shanks took a plea deal last October and was placed on GPS monitoring and home detention following an armed carjacking. This violation notice alleges Shanks removed his GPS device in June and was not being monitored leading up to the killing.
This is why we have 200 plus homicides a year in Indianapolis now, because of the failure of the judicial system in this city. And the courts and the judges have to do better and partner with law enforcement and community groups in helping to keep the peace.
The Brownstone complex sits in the Crown Hill neighborhood, which is part of the patrol area of Reverend Charles Harrison's 10-point coalition. In addition to the suspect's criminal past, Harrison claims drug trafficking and violence have become a common problem at the Brownstone apartments.
This is now the hottest spot in the neighborhood where we're seeing violence.
According to this affidavit, Shanks denied taking part in the murder, but before he died, the victim said he had been shot by his sister's ex-boyfriend after meeting up to trade firearms and cash.
Finally, the suspect is being held without bond pending the filing of formal charges. Jesse Wells, Fox 59 News.
I'm talking about, man, you see, you can't even pull up on niggas no more, man. You pull up on a nigga probably kill you, man. You pull up on the wrong person, you probably get killed, man. For real, subscribe to the channel, man. It's 236 people in here. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Give me the 1,300 subscribers. Double tap the screen to hit the like button, y'all. Come on. If you getting mad because I keep saying this shit, hey, that's your fault. Yeah, y'all type in the chat, tell them, subscribe to this nigga channel, man. Double tap the screen, and I shut the fuck up.
Today, a big break in the road.
Giving. Subscribe to the channel, y'all.
News at 5. And it's a story we broke yesterday, first here on TV6, and tonight more details are coming in on the Illinois State Police's big cocaine bust near Geneseo. Good evening, I'm Kyle Dickens. Thanks for joining us this evening. Nearly 520 kilos of cocaine was seized. That is over 1,100 pounds of cocaine in the traffic stop on Friday. The stop occurred just outside of Geneseo, Illinois, in the eastbound lanes of I-80. Now, the street value is estimated to be over $40 million, and according to Illinois State Police officials, it's making it one of the largest drug busts in the QCA. Now, according to the National Drug Intelligence Center, the largest cocaine bust in Illinois was in Chicago in 1999. That is where authorities seized over 1,100 kilos
Hold on, it's going to say where it said
according
again.
to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency, in fiscal year 2024, over 68,000 pounds of cocaine cocaine was seized nationwide. That statistic also includes seizures made at the borders. Now, 27-year-old Vanshit Singh and 36-year-old Manpreet Singh, both of Ontario, Canada, occupied the vehicle at the time of the stop and are both being charged with felony counts of possession of cocaine, possession with intent to deliver cocaine, and cocaine trafficking. And switching gears, a big...
That's an estimated 5.4 million lives that could have been affected by these drugs on the street.
In Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police arresting 3 men in the largest meth bust in Nashville history.
Quite a story. Officers seizing more than 800 pounds of crystal methamphetamine and 24 pounds of fentanyl, some of which police say was delivered to Nashville addresses without the homeowner's knowledge.
Well, Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker, she's live at the Metro North Police Precinct with more on the bust and where all these drugs came from. Kylie?
That's right. Now, Metro Police say around 5,000 pounds of crystal meth and fentanyl they believe has been shipped into Nashville in recent years. This, though, was the largest bust of all of them, and it all started with a tip from a FedEx employee. Several guns along with deadly amounts of fentanyl and meth taken off Nashville streets and out of the hands of criminals. That thanks to Metro Police, TBI, and other agencies. How deadly is that amount of fentanyl?
So that amount of fentanyl is roughly 24 pounds. Potentially could kill up to 5.4 million people.
Lieutenant Matthew Boguski believes the drug trafficking began at the Mexico border into California before reaching Nashville.
Interestingly, we believe that members of this drug operation use addresses of unsuspecting local residents to which parcels would be shipped and then quickly retrieved right after the delivery trucks drove away.
Chief John Drake with MMPD said the investigation started in November of 2022 when a FedEx employee notified narcotics detectives about multiple suspicious parcels being sent to 6 locations in North Nashville and Antioch.
Among these indicted is Francisco Velasquez Serrano of La Punta, California. He is accused of being the source of meth shipments sent to Nashville and is known to
subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Drop a comment in the chat and we'll subscribe to your channel. There's 300 people in here. Double tap the screen to hit the like button.
Distribution rings arranging shipments to various Nashville addresses.
As a result of this work, 13 persons were named in a multi-count Davidson County grand jury indictment.
Appreciate you,
bro. A series of drug conspiracy, drug distribution, and gun crimes in this area.
Now, Chief John Drake says that drug trafficking in Nashville is not out of the question. It can be common because of the interstate systems. He also says if you see something like somebody take a package from your front porch that wasn't intended for delivery, say something to law enforcement anytime you see something suspicious, because this is how a lot of these operations work. For now, reporting in North Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Now this a judge right here. Trading
Jorge always put the ones he loves first.
Yeah, this judge right here was trading favors for sex. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button.
Before the United Healthcare CEO was gunned down on the streets of New York, the shooting that took our breath away was the killing of Judge Kevin Mullins right there in his own chambers. We know who fired those shots. It was on video, right there. It was Sean Mickey Steins right there with the gun. He was the sheriff at that time of their rural Kentucky county. And he was also a close friend of the judge. And he's not a sheriff anymore, he's an inmate, waiting for trial. But just like the CEO murder, the motive in the Judge Mullins case is a mystery, which means that the two men's long shared history has been under the microscope. And tonight, a gut punch of an exclusive to tell you about. It turns out there are recordings about the dead judge that tie him to some very dirty business in that county. A sex for favors scandal that sent a former deputy to jail and got the sheriff, who's now facing murder, sued in federal court. News Nation investigative producer Allison Weiner uncovered these recordings, and she joins me live now. You're such a great producer. I mean, we send you out to dig this stuff up, and then I have to have you on television to report it. What kind of a recording are we talking about, Allison?
Well, these are recordings from the criminal investigation into Deputy Fields, the guy that went to prison for the sex for favor scandal. And Deputy Fields was convicted of rape 3, of sodomy, and also of perjury. So the recordings are from his victim. And she subsequently has filed the civil rights lawsuit in federal court. The victim is Sabrina Atkins, and she was interviewed by police about what had happened to her when she was an inmate in Fletcher County in Whitesburg. And that's where Sheriff Stein was working, and also where Ben Fields was working. And these recordings, I was listening to them, and I just sort of stopped and was like,
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen to hit the like button. Turn us up on the subscribers. Let's get to 1,300 subscribers. We need 60 more people to subscribe to the channel, y'all. Turn us up on the subscribers.
Police armed with search.
Dozens of new vehicles stolen right off dealership lots in Massachusetts, and they went for the pricey ones.
And all the thieves had to do was push a button, as NBC 10's Kennedy Buck reports.
A year-long investigation in Massachusetts led to a dozen arrests, all accused of teaming up in a sophisticated high-end car theft ring. Police armed with search warrants went to addresses in Brockton, Fall River, and Easton to make arrests and gather evidence, including firearms and high-capacity magazines. 63 vehicles were stolen, valued at more than $2.6 million.
There were not just a number of players, but it was the actual process that they would go to dealerships, take high-end cars. They had very sophisticated equipment to be able to start the vehicles.
The group allegedly used a programming device which would turn blank key fobs into fully functioning keys in a matter of minutes.
Do you think this also shows that the advancement of technology is maybe making it easier for people to commit huge crimes like this?
Technology is obviously something that we don't hear about every day, but in that underground world, these are the tools of the trade. And this tells me that there was probably a robust international market.
Subscribe to
and
the
I would
channel.
also surmise that there most likely will be other arrests that were made, not just the 12 that were covered in the story.
The 12 suspects were arraigned at Brockton District Court, with most of them being released on bail. One person's bail was set as high as $100,000.
When you have multiple people arrested like this, everyone's going to be looking to cut a deal.
It is a sight to see the signs in front of this Cleveland Heights home after dealing with crash after crash.
We told you about one of those crashes back in 2021. Another happened in 2022. We went back last year to tell you about a near miss. And a year later, the homeowner says he still feels like the city has not done enough to prevent this from continuing to happen. So, News 5's Adina Busada shows you now how he is taking matters into his own hands.
Off South Taylor Road, there's flashing lights, a speed bump.
What's going to happen when a car going 85 miles an hour hits that speed bump?
And even rocks.
The city put those rocks in place as what they call temporary measure.
But for John Gow, it's still not enough to keep his home safe from erratic drivers.
I'm painting another sign. This sign's going to go somewhere with the one that says the cowards won't talk because they're chicken bleep mother froggers.
Gow bought his home in 1996, where the lawn now sits filled with signs at this intersection.
And again, they ignore the problem. The problem is right here. I'm the only one that's ever been hit.
That's because in the past 10 years, he says, 3 cars have crashed into it.
Well, the first crash actually took out my pickup truck that was parked in the driveway. I believe that was 2012.
The second was in 2021, where News 5 covered a police chase that ended with a car in Gal's kitchen. Then another in 2022, taking out his garage.
This one is I can't get homeowners insurance. I currently have insurance, but they've jacked the rates, and if I have one more claim, I'm being dropped.
Gal says his home used to have a guardrail in front of it, but in the early 2000s, it was removed. and the city won't put a new one in place.
They offered fair market value. Well, I don't have a mortgage. The house is paid off. What can I buy where I won't have to pay that's comparable to where I'm currently living?
All he wants is the peace of mind that a car won't come flying through his wall.
As far as I'm concerned, this house has a giant target on the side. And the city has done nothing to alleviate that.
Until he gets it, Gal plans to keep painting.
And so do you think these signs help?
They help me because I don't know what else to do. It's cathartic.
This is where that guardrail used to be and where Gal wants to see a new one. He's hired an attorney and plans to keep adding signs until he sees some change or a response from the city. Now, you read...
He ain't playing about his yard, goddamn. He fed up over there. He like, man, y'all keep messing up my highs, man.
A man is dead after a shooting at this downtown bar overnight. According to Cleveland police, the shooting happened outside the Frozen Daiquiri Bar on Bolivar Road around 2:30. When officers got to the scene, they found evidence of the shooting, but didn't find the victim. We've since learned the 24-year-old victim was taken to the hospital in a private vehicle where he was declared dead. Police say their preliminary investigation shows the unknown man and the victim were involved in a physical fight outside of the bar.
Let me get y'all to subscribe to the channel.
Took out a firearm and shot the 24-year-old multiple times after the two stopped fighting. Authorities say the case remains under investigation. They haven't arrested anyone.
Two unrelated family disputes ending with two parents dead and two children in custody tonight. 8 News Now reporter Madison Kimbrough was in both of those neighborhoods for us and joins us live from our newsroom with what we're learning. Madison.
David, these are two isolated incidents that just happened just a day apart from each other, involving very similar storylines. The first homicide happening Friday evening at an apartment complex in North Las Vegas near the 15 and Cheyenne. According to police, a 12-year-old girl called saying that she found her father dead inside of their apartment and thought someone broke in to harm him.
Detectives also determined that there were no signs of forced entry into the home, and it was established that the only residents of the apartment were the 55-year-old male victim and his juvenile daughter.
Soon after, North Las Vegas police discovered it was the daughter who in fact killed her father, and there have been previous family disputes involving the two reported to police in the past month.
The juvenile made different claims regarding what had occurred that night, but ultimately confessed that she had stabbed her father after becoming upset with him.
Police then arrested her on a murder charge. And nearly 24 hours later, another domestic dispute, this time in a Northwest Valley neighborhood near North Rainbow and Smoke Ranch.
LVMPD dispatch received a 911 call from a female stating her father had been shot by her brother.
Metro police say they arrived to the home to find the father dead. According to police, the 15-year-old boy was upset with his parents after they took away his electronics. A verbal fight began, and then things escalated.
The son then went downstairs, retrieved a firearm, pointed at the father, and shot several times.
Investigators say the young boy took off, but police were able to find him shortly afterwards in the neighborhood. He, too, booked into the jail for young offenders.
Man, you can't take them kids' devices no more, man. You see what happened? You see what happened, man, when you make them kids mad, man. Them kids, they killing their parents, man. These kids ain't got no guidance out here to what, goddamn it, the parents that take care of them, buy them stuff, just, you know what I'm saying? They don't even care no more, man. They out here killing their parents, man. That's crazy, man. Your parents bought you all this stuff, and you out here acting up, being disrespectful and stuff, and they take it from you. And then they gotta lose their life over some stuff that they bought you? Come on, man, that's crazy, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. Yeah, I don't even want to watch that no more, man. These kids dumb as hell nowadays. That's all I can say, man. These kids dumb as hell nowadays, man. Subscribe to the channel, man.
After chaos turns to tragedy in a metro neighborhood. A man accused of shooting two kids, killing one before ambushing the officers that were called to the scene. And tonight, We know who the suspect was, how the surviving teen and officer are doing, and we're uncovering a history of some past problems.
News 4's Tanner De Leon joins us now. And Tanner, a lot to unpack here.
Yes, there is. We start with court records that show the suspect, Jerry Yang, had a protective order issued against him in June. He wasn't supposed to be near his family. In September, he pleaded guilty to drug charges. And in a shocking turn of events, investigators now say it was Yang who ended his own life Friday.
After hearing the news, man, it's pretty wild.
Neighbors still in shock after coming home to police cars surrounding this home on Bayberry Drive near Hefner and Rockwell in Oklahoma City Friday.
I hear you, Chuck. I hear you, Chuck, man.
All the people have been affected.
Yeah, it's crazy out here, man.
My thoughts, my prayers
What's
to everybody.
Up, Lake?
The suspect
Lake,
now identified as Jerry Yang. Police say he shot and killed a 15-year-old, shot a second child, then ambushed officers as they arrived. Investigators initially said he was then shot by police, but on Monday revealed Yang actually took his own life during the gun battle. News 4 was also told on Friday this started as a domestic dispute. Court documents reveal Yang never should have been at the home. A protective order was filed against him in Tulsa County in June, and he'd been ordered to stay away from his family.
It looks like she called him on the 20th saying that he drives a silver Lexus. His name is Jerry Yang, and supposedly has an EPO against him.
These are always hard calls to deal with any time of year, and then, with it being right before the holidays, it's just, they're hard calls to deal with, especially involving children.
Court records also show in September, Yang pleaded guilty to meth charges in Rogers County. He faced a 3-year prison sentence, but instead he was given DA supervision, community service, and ordered to pay fines. As police piece together why Yang was at the home, neighbors' hearts are heavy.
Yeah, that other dude, that
A
white
homeowner
dude trying
shot
to get
and
shit
killed
for
one
free.
of 2 men who broke into his home in Bradenton, and the other suspect was caught while trying to run away. 2 men with masks on were spotted on the homeowner's surveillance camera trying to get through the back of the house on Hickory Hammock Circle last night. News Channel 8's Mackenzie Laporte joins us live with the latest on that investigation. Mackenzie.
Yes, and now the Manatee County Sheriff's Department has identified both suspects. There was a first appearance today where Michael Sotomayor took the stand. Now he is going to be held in jail until his next hearing, and he's being charged with armed burglary, with possibly more charges pending.
The bottom line is, this is the state of Florida. You want to break into someone's home, you should expect to be shot.
The night after Christmas, 2 masked men broke into a Bradenton home. One shot and killed, the other caught blocks away on foot. According to the Manatee Sheriff's Department, they are currently working with Border Control to learn more details on the suspects.
What we believe is that the suspect that survived is of Chilean descent, came to California from Chile sometime a few months ago. I guess if you are from Chile, Border Patrol gives you a 90-day visa. That visa was supposed to expire in September. Suspect never returned back to Chile. Somehow made it to Tampa about six days ago.
While the investigation is still ongoing, the neighborhood of River Club shared their fears as they heard gunshots ring in.
Well, we were just watching a movie and my dad was by the window and he goes, I'm pretty sure I just heard some gunshots.
Levi Newceder alongside his mother were visiting for the holidays. Aiden Ursai caught up with them before heading off to the airport.
Then we learned that there was still one guy out there and I was pretty scared for a little bit, I'm not gonna lie.
Now residents who have...
Are you dreaming of more freedom? Yeah, don't think breaking in people's houses, man. Ain't nobody sitting right there strapped up, ready to bust you in your goddamn ass. Y'all better leave people shit alone, man. People work too hard for their shit, and y'all goddamn it trying to rob people and stuff. Like they ain't got no guns or something, like they ain't gonna defend themselves. Y'all thinking these people just gonna let y'all just come in they shit and take they shit. Nah, it don't happen like that every day, man. For real, subscribe to the channel. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. Turn us up on them goddamn likes.
Story of a half-hearted investigation.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. It wasn't half-hearted by the officers in this video. They were very thorough. But another investigator wasn't even curious enough to look for this video.
That's the device itself?
Yeah.
Okay. I want my money back.
Which left Bev Thompson stuck.
Makes you want to bang your head against the wall. Yeah. As you can tell, I'm anxious just talking about it.
Bev says she only uses her ATM card a few times a month at an ATM inside a Walgreens up the road in Thornton. Around New Year's this year, Bev noticed something strange on her bank statement.
Noticed that there was $100 taken out.
There were 4 ATM withdrawals Bev never made the week of Christmas last year, totaling $420, all at ATMs inside other Walgreens locations.
I noticed it and it was like, I got on the phone immediately. What can I do?
GoToBank immediately launched an investigation, but a month later,
they said that it wasn't fraudulent.
The bank sent back a long report detailing their decision. A report Steve on Your Side found has a few holes in it.
They started the thing about the chip thing. I don't understand all that stuff. And somebody had your card. I said, nobody had my card. No, nobody else could have done this.
The bank told Bev since her ATM card has a chip, it can't be duplicated. A quick Google search tells you a chip card can indeed be duplicated through a process called shimming, a new device installed on card readers that can duplicate a chip. Then there was the map. Oh, the map.
They've got these places. Well, they're within 10 minutes of your house. No, they're not.
GoToBank told Bev the transactions weren't fraudulent because they happened within the geolocation of the cardholder with a travel time of 13 minutes from her address and included a screenshot of a Google map with driving directions plugged in. Problem is that map is not Bev's address.
No, and I don't live in Denver.
Bev lives near 84th and I-25. GoToBank appears just typed in Denver, Colorado as the starting point and Lakewood, Colorado as the end.
Does it feel like they did a complete investigation into that? Absolutely not.
Banks are trying to protect your money. You're trying to protect your money in many different ways. At the same time, I think there's been an increased amount of fraud that banks are dealing with.
Mark Federhoff works in fraud prevention with the AARP. He says Bev did exactly what any consumer should do. She contacted her bank right away, filed a police report, she documented conversations she had, and most importantly, she kept fighting when the bank said no.
I think it's really important to stay adamant about the situation. If you know you're not at fault, especially, continue to file disputes with the bank.
Bev kept reopening that fraud claim with new evidence.
Walgreens said, yeah, we had a problem. Somebody put a skimmer in there.
Even after she provided contact information for the manager at that store, the bank ignored it.
Does it feel like they're listening to any of this? No.
At her wit's end, nearly a year later, she called Steve on Your Side, which brings us back to that video.
I saw them, they seemed suspicious.
See, Steve on Your Side called Thornton Police to ask about Bev's police report. We also asked about any calls for service involving that lone Walgreens ATM Bev uses. And voila! Another police report from the week of those fraudulent transactions when a clerk called the cops after she saw 2 guys taking something off the ATM.
Looks like they took one off and put a new one on.
A records request and $15 later, we had video that shows something up with that ATM where Bev swiped her card.
I did get a call on Friday from a customer saying his card was used at the ATM, but he was at home sleeping.
When we sent that information to GoToBank, they told us they'd look into it. 2 days later, nearly a year since this all started, Bev got a call that all the money was getting refunded.
To other people, it may $400 may not be much, but to me, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, you gotta keep checking your accounts, man. Make sure you have the notifications on too.
With us, you get rewards.
Subscribe to the channel, y'all. If y'all haven't subscribed to the channel yet,
highlighted the success
double tap the screen and hit the like button.
Force, which is working to
turn
break
us
the
up
cycle
on the
of
likes, y'all.
in Central Indiana.
Fox 59's Jesse Wells explains how many violent suspects were busted by the task force this year.
All the guns seen here are just a small sample of the illegal weapons seized by the Indiana Crime Guns Task Force so far this year.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Double tap the screen and hit the like button. Everybody that drop a comment in the chat, I'm going to be subscribing to your page.
Across Central Indiana. These guns and 20 others, along with various drugs, including cocaine and fentanyl, and more than $100,000 in cash, were seized during one bust by the Indiana Crime Guns Task Force in March of this year. That case reflects a much larger public safety fight.
I think that what we're doing is making a difference. Our goal is to get the illegal guns out of the hands of violent criminals who are committing violent crime against our citizens.
In fact, IMPD claims the task force seizing more than 270 crime guns in 2024 contributed to a decrease in non-fatal shootings, homicides, and other violent crimes compared to the year before.
Personally, I think we're the tip of the spear when it comes to that, when driving down violent crime by getting these
Yellowstone, good morning, Yellowstone. Appreciate you pulling up with us, man.
Because violent
checking
crime
out the
isn't
channel,
confined to
man.
Indianapolis, the multi-agency task
I'm
force
subscribing
involves
to your
members
page
of the
right
ATF,
now,
as well as
Yellowstone.
police from Fishers, Avon, Beech Grove, Lawrence, and Zionsville. The Fishers police chief believes the task force has made his community safer.
489 illegal firearms have come off our city streets, and 64% of those come back to violent crimes in Indianapolis. So we should be in this.
We're dedicating a lot of resources out there, but we're doing that because the return on investment we believe is worth the effort. We are seeing the crime numbers come down.
Because police insist a small number of offenders cause a large percentage of violence, the goal of the task force is to target repeat violent suspects.
We're fishing with a spear, so to speak, right? We're going in and we're making sure we're targeting the right people because they're driving the violence.
In addition to all the illegal guns taken off the streets this year, since the task force began in July of 2021, more than 1,300 illegal weapons have been recovered. Jesse Wells, Fox 59 News.
Thank you, Rick.
Thieves targeting food
Already.
trucks. The food vendors are worried and on high alert.
Oh yeah, man, you know this is a channel over here to where we interact with the people that come over here, man. You know what I'm telling you, we ain't bigger than nobody. I'm just trying to get my YouTube channel jumping. And you know one thing about getting it jumping, you gotta interact with the people. So you know what I'm saying? I'm always reading the chats. You know, when new people come in, I'm always gonna, you know what I'm saying, speak to them. You know what I'm telling you? Everything. You know, all I ask that y'all just show love by hitting the like button, sharing it out, or you know what I'm saying, subscribing to the channel. You know what I'm telling you? I'm trying to get members for the channel. You know what I'm saying? Because this not just a one-time thing. We're going to be doing this every day. Every day we're going to be doing this. So y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit all